Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope you're well on this Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Appreciate you joining us. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Go there to stream the show live. Also, of course, you can use the WTSM app on your mobile devices. You can watch us perform our radio duties on YouTube and Periscope. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. You can email us, jcs@979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. And here we go. Great to come to you today after a win, a much-needed one at that. 35-24, Florida State followed a similar pattern in which we all thought, really? This is going to happen again? You've got to be,
joshing with me.
And it was something there for a while. I after each missed field goal from Ricky Aguayo, getting progressively further from the goal there as he kicked them, I thought, yep, okay, I'm in a special kind of hell. This is what's going to happen. And then, of course, I couldn't have known what was going to happen the following day with my kicker in Tampa. But, you just sometimes recognize that you're destined for a particular season or two or five to be in purgatory, football purgatory.
I thought ULM Monday was a somber victory Monday, but given the way the Bucs finished last night, this is a tough one. I mean, I'm happy about what happened in the fourth quarter and the heart we showed and how all Noles can be proud of the effort. We stick to it.
Let's not get crazy. We won the game, and it was good that we won the game and showed some toughness.
Well, we showed some toughness where we showed weakness before. And,
that's true.
And that's
I just don't want to overstate.
Can't take that away. But,
no. Yeah.
it's hard to get that fiery after watching a 34-yarder go wide right.
And when you're 2-2 and, you still got a lot of problems and they rear their ugly head on the regular. But I do want to revel in victory today, and I will because you saw some growing up, as you just noted, and you've got some kids that are playing really, really hard that are inspiring to watch. Cam Akers and Marvin Wilson atop that list. Every Saturday, I can trust that what I'm going to get out of them is a spirited effort, one that we should all be proud of, where they lay it on the line, and not only lay it on the line, but they play at a very high level. So they're exceptional players playing really hard and serving as a really good, I think, guidepost as to where everybody else needs to ratchet up their intensity. And you're seeing some of that now. I'm especially happy that Coach Taggart and his staff have finally seen fit, to discipline players, to bench players, to not allow players to travel if they step out of line, to enforce sort of a code of discipline that has been lacking, and then in return see that rewarded, because many of those guys, whether you're talking about Levonta Taylor, whether you're talking about DJ Matthews, whether you're talking about Dontavius Jackson. These are all guys that have either been benched, not started, weren't allowed to travel, whatever it might be, and they've all come back and played well. They've all come back and played hard. They've played focused. They've played better after their benching. So to me, that is the positive reinforcement you need to continue down that path to get guys righted, and that certain things are just impermissible. And we'll move forward without you. And it may mean that we suffer athletically. It may mean that we suffer because somebody more inexperienced has to take the field and makes a slew of mistakes in the process. But I'd rather lose and win games that way than to deal with guys that are entitled and aren't going to be made to play to a certain standard. And it's baby steps around here right now. It's not easy for any of us. Sitting here, and I'll tell you something now, my heart sunk. My heart sunk walking into that stadium on Saturday. I've never seen attendance that poor. I've just not. I mean, we've had some games where it was going to be 105 degrees. It's a nothing opponent. We're in the middle of the lost decade, and you're kind of like, well, I don't care that much about today's game. It is at noon. It is going to be 100, and we are 4-4. You know, I've seen some things, but it's like 50,000, 52,000, 57,000. I thought at the time that, and I know what it was announced, but I thought at the time that, we were kicking off, we were looking at 35,000. It felt like 35,000 to me.
Yeah, compared to, say, Willie's first spring game, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, it did. It felt like 30. Yeah, you're right. It felt like 35,000 were there. I guess it was announced 43,000 and change. Either way, it is eerily similar to what you see every Saturday when the Canes play, and it's the very thing we make fun of all the time, and rightfully so, because they've been doing that for their entirety, the entirety of their existence. But this is that's a low. That's a new low, and it's tough. So I'm really, really glad, obviously, that they still were able to respond and win the football game after giving up another huge lead, in this case 21-0. And, with each missed field goal, you thought, this is going to happen.
So
they're going to give it up.
It was the missed field goals, but then for me, I think the moment I realized we're doomed unless we do something different and somebody steps up and makes a play, it's the high snap when Hornibrook is having him drive towards the student end zone. And I guess that would be the third quarter. And it's the snap over his head, because that drive is, we're going down and we're scoring. We're in rhythm. Everything is cruising. Everybody looks in control.
Yep.
And it's completely undone in that moment. Because we've seen it all too often. We just saw it yesterday, if you're a Buccaneers fan. In order for a rally like that to happen, you have to stack 6 and 7 things together. And they're all unlikely, but if they all happen, it's almost like a parlay in a football game.
That's right. You realize, it's all happening. It's coming. Yeah.
Think about their 2 passing touchdowns, the Louisville passing touchdowns. I know Dent gets beat without, he gives up the outside leverage, but that throw can only be in what? Like a 2-foot radius?
Yeah, but you forced him to do that, and finally we played more aggressively. And I've been wanting that I did say that if we play that way, occasionally things like that are going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'll give that up, because that kid makes a throw that he probably can't make if you gave it to him 10 times. But he makes it. So, okay.
And that's the first one. And then the second one, Samuel is draped all over him. He undercuts it a little bit. But, you see how high he gets up in the air with his hand?
It's a great catch.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So those 2 passes are in football-sized windows, and you're going, so those had to happen in order for this to be a game the way it is, and they do.
Yeah, when things aren't going well for you, really, it doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter if it's pro or college. When things just aren't going well for you, this is the kind of stuff that you see happen to your team. It's just like anything that will hurt your chances of winning a game will happen, and it's just you're mesmerized by it. But the difference this time around was they finally made a play. And then they made another play and another play, and they turned the tide and won the game and finished out 14-0 strong. And so it goes from giving up 24 unanswered to 14 straight, and you win the game, and Cyrus Fagan with the big pick. And I'm really happy for him, because I had been told that he had a good camp, and then Willie confirmed that, and then he talked about it today. And you'll hear in my interview that I did with him this morning, it gets brought up. But Cyrus Fagan had a good camp, and that he played really hard, and that he had the right attitude, and he was working hard. So you like kids like that to be rewarded. You like to see guys like that make a play. Hopefully that infuses the sort of confidence necessary to continue to make plays, and be a little bit more consistent in your game. Right now, it's an interesting time for Florida State, because, listen, this program is not anywhere near where we want it to be, where Coach Taggart needs it to be, where the players want it to be, and where the fans certainly want it to be. But it can't get back unless you start winning games. And it's such a simple formula here. I continue to say it, and you can just roll your eyes. Of course you got to win games, but you do. You got to win games. I mean, we can talk about this player is getting better. These guys are still bought in. They're playing real hard. That's great, man. You got to win games, or else there's 40,000 people in the stands, and it's inevitable. Like, the choice is made for you at that point, regardless of what side of the fence you're on. If you got 40,000 people coming to games, you have to make a change, and I don't want to see that happen. I would like to see Willie establish this thing, turn it around, and get to where he can utilize his strength as a recruiter because there's real forward momentum. And that only happens if you win some damn football games. And so they do on Saturday. I'll grant it, you're not going to thump your chest all day long because you beat a Louisville team in transition, rebuilding. But you are happy that you won that game. We'll see what the attendance is for NC State. I don't imagine it'll be great. But if you can get to 3-2, and if you can get to 2-1 in the conference before going up there to get your head kicked in by Clemson, you give yourself a fighting chance. Because after that, it's Wake, Syracuse, Miami, Boston College, Alabama State, all very, very winnable football games. And if you're trying to build something, you got to get to a bowl. You got to take those baby steps along the way. You got to garner confidence with wins. So this is another really important game this Saturday against NC State.
Yeah, juxtapose some of the moments last year where we would go deflated to what we saw on Saturday. And we even had the jitters down the stretch on Saturday. I mean, you got pre-snap penalties, you got a high snap, then you have a snap from Bavion that takes like 10 seconds to actually get in the quarterback's hands. It comes out fluttering and slow.
Really weird.
You got a near fumble from Tamori and Terry. I mean, like, we still were very shaky in some key moments. Alex Hornibrook, who played largely really well, at 24-21, makes a few bad decisions in a row, one of which is he's just got to give the ball to Cam on a first down. But then he sees ghosts. He sees pressure where there is none. He flushes left for no reason.
With our offensive line, I would always assume there's pressure.
But then remember last year, a key play that happened in week 3, and it's almost like that was the moment that everything turned sour.
In the midst of praising something like that, it sounds like a negative, right? I mean, yeah, you had to do that because you choked this other thing away. But they're getting better against the run, and the big three up front are very, very tough. I mean, I think those are formidable players that most any offensive line is going to struggle with. Obviously, I'm talking about Big Coop and Marvin Wilson. Every Saturday puts on a clinic. Durden's played well. So those three guys, you can now see a level of consistency that you can depend on. And if you get anything from your linebackers in the way of discipline and run fits, you're better against the run right now. I think against the run, Louisville averaged just over 3.5 yards per carry. So I'll take that right now. And that is on the heels of being much better against the run in the Virginia game. So we've come a long way from the start of the year where you could just do anything you want. We're still not real good defensively. We still got a lot of problems. And things to overcome throughout the course of the year. That offensive line's not great. Again, Ricky Aguayo was embarrassingly bad on Saturday and nearly lost the game with his 3 misses that were, I mean, Jesus. I mean, not even the same zip code as the goalpost. So, that's a problem. Those are all things that concern you. But you overcome those things and you win the football game 35-24. And now maybe, just maybe, they'll be emboldened, feel better about themselves, go out there and believe in the second half that they can put somebody away. That's the next big step, I might add, is to get up on somebody 21-0 and go win a football game 45-10. Go put it on somebody when you get out to a big lead like that. And I thought they were close to doing that, very close to doing that.
All you need to do is get that 28th point. You score that 4th touchdown, and the game is long over. I mean, you could it's the rocking chair second half that you were begging for.
Louisville lays down at that point because you're not coming back down 28-0. You're not. They would have laid down. But damn it, man. These are the things. And it is hard to imagine. And I just – It's interesting because I get both sides of it. As somebody that has covered this program, I'm just talking about my media stint. I'm not even talking about going to school here. I'm not even talking about coming to games as a kid with my dad. I'm not just covering this program the last 20-plus years, right? It's on the one hand, it's hard to fathom how we arrived at this spot. Like when I look big picture and I think, Jesus, man, how did we get here? I mean, you can go down that rabbit hole and it gets really dark. You're just, golly, I never thought I'd see the day where I'm thankful for a narrow victory over sorry-ass Louisville. You know what I mean?
Like this version of Louisville.
Where you're like, oh, my God, And on the other hand, there's an acceptance that this is where we're at and a resolve, a sense of, okay, you know what? I've watched it. I've seen Notre Dame go through this. I've seen Oklahoma go through this. I've seen Florida go through this. I've seen Miami, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, you name it. We've watched all these other programs. We're not immune to it. It happens. It's a series of things, a confluence of events that lead to that point, and it's clearly happened to us. And while it's hard to imagine that 2015, 2014, not all that long ago, there we were rattling off win after win after win, even though that's true, you can then say, okay, well, now you got to buck up, soldier. Now we got to find a way to get this turned around. And so I'll be appreciative of those moments where I see a step forward. I'm not going to pretend we don't have a mountain still to climb, but I will be appreciative of those moments where I see something to that end, where you're moving to that end.
It's like De Niro in The Godfather 2. You're having dinner, and what are you having? Just a pear. He brings home a pear, and his wife says, what a lovely pear.
Yeah.
You think that's the kind of dinner he wants? No.
It's a pear.
But it's the dinner we have. And
It's
so
a
we're going to
pear.
set the table, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to enjoy our dinner the best we can. And in truth, responding to the injuries to James Blackman and Jaden Lars Woodby, and that Woodby one is nasty.
Hard to watch.
And it's happening in the flow of the game as you're losing control of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
all
it's
the adversity
there.
that could strike, that you respond to those things on top of it, and you get a really good first impression from Alex Hornibrook. Not to the fans. That's fine that the fans like what's going on, but he proves it to his teammates because he's going to have to be the guy in all likelihood this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
That's so critical for our chances against NC State. The guys believe in him, and he did more than enough to have guys believe in him after his performance.
Well, those are things that make you smile, too, because that's the kind of thing that happens in a team game where you kind of reveal personalities and a togetherness and one of the things that everybody who played organized sports growing up misses, or anybody who plays pro sports, you always hear them say it too. They don't miss the wins and the losses, and many times they don't even talk about the money or the glory or any of that other stuff. They miss the bond that's created through sacrifice. And when you watch guys really care for a teammate that's fallen or celebrate a great play for a backup who comes in, the way that, I might add, James Blackman did when Alex Hornibrook threw the touchdown pass, to watch those two embrace and celebrate tells me, A, what we already know to be true is exactly that, and that is James Blackman's a really good teammate. And B, they've forged a pretty good relationship pretty quickly, which tells me a lot about Alex Hornibrook coming in here and working hard to do that. That's important. To watch them respond in those ways and to see guys go down and the players respond the way that they did, I was pretty touched at the end of this game to see Jaden Lars Woodby out there in his wheelchair celebrating with his teammates. They are more together than they were a year ago. There's no doubt. And again, it's little things, but that's important. If you're going to turn it around, you better have something like that.
After the way the first three games went down, and you blow another 20-plus, or this is the first time they've done it, but you blow a 21-point lead. If you're not together, there's no chance you win that football game. So, listen, yes, these are the small victories that we have to focus on a Victory Monday, but they are victories nonetheless that these guys have at least stuck together, because if they were mentally weak by now, 24-21 Louisville, that game's over.
Yeah, if they were fractured, if the locker room was the way it was a year ago.
Fragile. He used the word up and down all year.
Yeah. Well, and again, if they were what they were a year ago, they'd have lost the game. So they win that game. Now you got to win another one, obviously, and get into that bye week feeling better about yourself. At the end of the day, you can always fall back and tell yourself we've lost two games to two undefeated teams that are ranked in the top 20. Okay. And they were narrow losses at that.
That is a talking point. You can use that talking point.
That's what you would tell yourself. That's what you would say as a coach. It's what you would want to believe as a player.
That might be like game note number 3.
Yeah, it might be. Oh, if I were writing game notes, it'd be right there.
Only
at the top,
setbacks suffered are.
Yeah. Road loss to top 20 team who struggled mightily with Old Dominion. When Old Dominion was beating Virginia this weekend, I was sitting there going, oh, okay. Also, I might note, Louisiana Monroe lost to Iowa State and gave up 70 points.
Well, we were on pace.
Well, yeah, right. Thanks for I talked to Willie Taggart this morning. You'll hear that interview next.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Tallahassee.com and on iTunes today. The Jeff Cameron Show podcast is brought to you by Garnet and Gold of Tallahassee. When you buy FSU apparel, support local business. GarnetandGold.com.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Sharer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Experience Tallahassee's largest Oktoberfest celebration at the Pavilion in the center of Tallahassee on Friday, October 18th. Spend the night out with friends in a beer garden featuring festive beers and wines with unlimited refills, and enjoy traditional food and desserts while testing your skills in the interactive game station. All proceeds support local seniors with elder care services. Purchase tickets at the Pavilion box office or online at eldercarebigbend.org.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Successful organizations have experts. Marketing experts, finance experts, logistics experts, but few have cloud experts. Fortunately, CDW has cloud experts. Lots of them. CDW Cloud Consulting Services can help your company develop smart strategic cloud solutions. They'll work within your budget and requirements to help your company get ahead of the competition and maximize your cloud investment. Visit cdw.com/cloud to learn more about our cloud consulting services. CDW, people who get it.
The Friday Night Lights are back on Tallahassee's Sports Monster. Catch a full season of high school football action on 97.9 ESPN Radio. In broadcast partnership with a Varsity Sports Network, high school football on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Barano Heating and Air Conditioning. Whatever your heating or cooling needs, turn to the experts at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, 580-4029, and online at baranoac.com.
Golick and Wingo.
Freddie Kitchens got the job because of how he handled Baker Mayfield as the interim offensive coordinator last year. Remember, he started the season as a running back coach, ended as an interim offensive coordinator, and the offense moved well. What has been the criticism of this offense? It doesn't look like it did last year. They weren't using the running game. He has a lot of toys on the outside. He was spread them out, and the offense looked different, which was a legitimate criticism of this. And now you add on him admitting, and again, we're glad he admits it, but they were a couple of errors in critical times of the game.
And that's what I mean. So now it's going to be going forward, does that compound itself, and does that goodwill start to erode pretty quickly here? Because he's a guy also, it's going to be interesting to see what the leash is if this continues with the guy knowing how important Baker Mayfield is to the future of this franchise.
Because that was what's the biggest question of this team coming into the year. Correct. Is Freddie Kitchens.
Right.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the Kraft Brothers dealership, and Nissan Truck Month is here. Sit in the cab of a Nissan and feel what you're missing, and we'll stand up to F-150 or Ram any day. Get 0% interest for 72 months on all Titans, plus Titan Midnight Edition package is free and up to $12,000 off MSRP. Yes, $12,000 off Titan, and the Nissan Frontier is $5,000 off. But hurry, these prices are only good during Truck Month, so come test drive one now. Or if you're looking for a high-end vehicle with low-end payments, visit our Infinity of Tallahassee store. The Kraft Brothers have special lease deals with Infinity. So listen to this. With just $39.95 down, QX50 for $385 a month, or QX60 for just $415 a month. Truck and SUV payments and savings you've come to expect from the Kraft Brothers dealerships. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or Infinity of Tallahassee on Capitol Circle Northeast next to Ted's Montana Grill. Payments plus tax for 39 months with approved credit through IFS or NMAC.
Kraft Brothers dealerships.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back in. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Always our pleasure to welcome on the head football coach at Florida State University. He's Willie Taggart, and he joins me now after a win, 35-24. This time it would be different. The fourth quarter owned by Florida State. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win. Secondly, what did the film tell you about how your team grew up?
Well, thank you very much for that. But just watching the film, our guys played for 4 quarters and found a way to win the ball game. They played winning football. You look at it from a discipline standpoint, didn't have many penalties. We didn't turn the ball over. That's 2 weeks in a row where we didn't turn the ball over, and then defensively stopping the run 2 weeks in a row where we held our opponents below their average rushing the football, and that's always important, you know. So, but to see our guys play for each other and find a way to win and make winning plays for their teammates when we needed it was really good to see.
Yeah, you mentioned the rush defense. That is 2 weeks in a row. Held Louisville to 3.4 yards per play on the ground. And obviously that was a point that coming into the game I think a lot of people would be focusing on given how well Louisville had been running the ball and the required discipline on all that outside zone stuff that they like to run for your defense. And what are you seeing from that unit now that has shifted where the ability to stop the run continues to seemingly improve? I know up front the big three are really starting to feel I think confident and strong and playing with great confidence. But you're seeing better play from others as well.
Yeah, we have, and I think what we're seeing is our guys getting comfortable with our defense and the things that we're doing defensively. And like you mentioned a minute ago, our D-line is playing at a high level, and then you're starting to see again our linebackers and safeties becoming more involved in the run game and helping us. You know, so I think having a better understanding and of the defense is really helping our guys make some progress.
Don't want to harp on injuries. Information can change as the day goes along. At the time that we're recording in the morning, I know sometimes that does happen, but it was a devastating thing to see. Really, you never want to see any injuries, but a kid that's been selfless and done everything you've asked of him and moved around positions, and Jaden Lars would be going down like that. I know I saw him after the game in the wheelchair, and obviously that shows his dedication to his teammates to be out there celebrating the win afterwards despite the injury. But any updates on Jaden? Is he going to be lost for the season?
Yeah, Jaden will be out for the season. He's done, unfortunately. Great young man and was having a good game, and unfortunately he had that injury. But the one thing about him, he's going to work hard and get back and be stronger and better than ever.
We know that there was another injury in the game, obviously, to James Blackman. We'll continue to monitor that. One thing I want to say, Coach, I was watching through the binoculars there early in the game, and we know this about James. He's an amazing teammate. He's a leader. Everybody likes James, and that's a good thing. But he showed it here in a different way because I don't know of any quarterback, and you were a quarterback, that wants to be pulled. You brought this up post-game. You know, you're in the middle of starting a game. You come out. You guys wanted to get Alex Hornibrook a look and get him in the game, and obviously it's a good thing you did, but I saw him celebrating the touchdown from Hornibrook, and those two embraced. They seem to have a very close relationship in a short period of time.
Well, I think what you're seeing is our football team starting to play for one another and enjoy their teammates and enjoy their teammates' success on the football field. And I think you're seeing that at a lot of positions. I know I saw it a lot on Saturday, which was really exciting for me personally, just to see these guys starting to play for one another and not worry about who's making the play or not, but just guys going out and competing and doing whatever they can to help the football team. And it's great to see our guys doing that, even our better players and our leaders doing it, and it making an example, showing an example to all the younger guys on how they're supposed to be.
Coach, something else to point out, you've had a couple of times where you've had to discipline guys, and that's part of it, and guys have to learn from that. That can go one of two ways, but I would say you see DJ Matthews make that big catch, come back, play hard. We saw it from Levonta Taylor, handle that discipline, come back and play hard. Talk about a little bit, maybe a team maturing a little bit.
Well, absolutely, and they growing up. We have a young football team, and the thing about our team, everybody wants to make plays. Everybody wants to help, but we got to make sure that we're helping and doing things the right way. That's the only way to help and to help the way that we want to. And our guys understand that there's a standard that we're all going to live by and hold each other accountable to, and nobody's exempt from that standard. So our guys are growing up and understanding it, and it's great to see our guys bounce back from things that don't go their way. And find a way to help their teammates.
He closed out the game 14-0 after giving up 24 straight. There's certainly a lot of people in that moment watching this game go the way the others have, thinking, well, here we go again. So obviously this has a much better ending, and you hope something that continues to carry over moving forward. Have you been able to put a finger on why that's happening, though, why it is that Florida State's able to get out to big leads, really light up the scoreboard early, and then kind of hold on for dear life, only this time around you flip the script a little bit. But why is that happening to this team?
I think it's what you call the game of football. These things happen in the game of football. I mean, you see it with our team, and rather than looking at all the negative, I kind of look at the positive of how our guys are learning. I said it before, how our football team needs to learn how to win, and our guys are learning each week. They're getting better, and they're correcting mistakes from the week before. And this past week, we finally put it together. The good thing about it is when we got in that situation, our guys didn't quit. They found a way to win the ball game, and I think that's more important than anything is finding a way to win.
Coach, obviously we hope James is okay. I thought both quarterbacks played well, and hopefully we get James back quickly. But what did you see from Alex Hornibrook that led you to the decision that you wanted to get him in this game no matter what? Obviously, he had to play a little bit bigger role after the injury, but what was it that you saw that led to that decision this past week?
Well, we had been saying it all year long that we wanted to get him in the game and give him some reps. It's just the way some of these games was going, we didn't have a chance to get him in there. And this game, we said we're going to put him in there in the third series and let him go. And again, Alex came in, he competed, he know the offense. He's a winner. He's got experience. He's played in big games, and we knew the moment wouldn't be too big for him. So, and he proved that for us. It was good. Again, another example of some of our guys, not some of them, but most of our guys now are taking advantage of opportunities when they come, and more importantly, they're prepared for those opportunities.
Cyrus Fagan with a huge interception. You said in the post game that you really saw that kind of coming from him, and that he's had good practices, that he's been active, and you've kept thinking that something good was going to happen for him. Talk about him, and then also, I mean, you look at that field and you see a lot of guys playing so hard and a lot of guys showing leadership. But every week it's kind of a broken record. Cam Akers runs with a tenacity and a ferocity and a toughness that other people have to feed off of.
Oh, absolutely. And going back to Cyrus, Cyrus just he's been having this winning mentality ever since training camp. Even at the beginning of the season when things weren't going well defensively, every practice he came with a great attitude, with great energy, and I think other guys were starting to feed off of him, and it's been great to see out of him. Just changing the way that he go about thinking and the way he do things, and it's paying off for him on the football field. And we can't say enough about Cam. Cam just, like I said, he's had a different mentality, and it's been important to him that he helped do whatever he can to help this football team get back to our winning ways. And again, we kind of he put us on the shoulder once again, and got in the end zone 3 times, ran the ball really hard like we know he's capable of. And Cam is our bell cow. We got to lean on him, and I think that's what he would want.
Coach, have a great week of practice. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate you joining us on the program. Good luck against NC State. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, thank you very much, Jeff, and have a great day if you want to, and go Noles.
All right, Coach. Take care.
All right, buddy.
That's head coach Willie Taggart. Obviously in a better mood, in a good mood, and should be. As I talk about this team, they've got a long way to go. We know that. It's frustrating, and if you look big picture, it's kind of hard sometimes to even watch a game play out the way that this did and celebrate a win. Because you're thinking about where we need to be and how far away we are from the likes of a Clemson. But I also think that it's important to take a step back in those moments and kind of appreciate a step forward. He mentioned the run defense. That is 2 weeks in a row now, and they can build off that. They got some hosses up front. Those big three can hold their own against most teams. And in the case of Marvin, well, he's just an all-world player. And if you're able to start shutting down this run with regularity, the opportunity to improve in the secondary, the opportunity to continue to pressure the quarterback improves greatly. And suddenly you start looking like a fairly competent defense, which is not something we've seen in some time. And if you do that, you can win the football games you're supposed to win. You give yourself a fighting chance. And at this point, in Florida State's football kind of evolution, where we're at, with Coach Taggart, his staff, this team, quote unquote, learning how to win, maturing, figuring some things out. You got to celebrate those little steps. Some of them bigger steps than others. Obviously, stopping the run is a big one. But if you get that in the midst of or in the wake of some discipline issues in which guys were sat, guys didn't play as much. In the case of DJ Matthews, didn't even travel to Virginia. Then maybe, just maybe, you're seeing a team turn the corner. Again, are they elite? Nope, not going to be this year. Are they even good right now? Nope. But we're aspiring to average, and we're also aspiring to see more consistency. And if you get that, and you see the confidence grow with wins, look, I don't think it's an overstatement here. It's a huge game again this weekend to beat NC State. If you get to 3-2, 2-1 in conference. You can tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself. The truth of the matter is, for Florida State's players, they could look back and say, well, we've lost to 2 undefeated teams, both ranked in the top 20. So, okay, and those were narrow defeats. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to begin to believe and play better. And I think 14-0 to close things out is much, much better. Now, Louisville did what a lot of teams going through transition do, and a lot of young teams do, and that's make mistakes and give opportunities. But Florida State hasn't always cashed in on those opportunities, and this time around they did. It was an important win, and it would have been a devastating setback to lose that game to a team that is rebuilding the way Louisville is. Our thanks to Coach Taggart, Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Hand Drive Friday or Saturday, we'll hand you your very own event package, and you can get in on all the action. That's right, Kraft Nissan will give you your very own chance to win. If the numbers in your package match the randomly selected winning numbers, you can win up to $3,000 cash. Doesn't matter if you buy a car or not. And you can get a resort vacation package for just showing up. Once again, no purchase necessary. And the very best part of all, in the event package we give you, there will be a voucher for up to $8,000 towards the purchase of any new or pre-owned Nissan. It's Friday and Saturday only at Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, Tallahassee.
Kraft Brothers Dealerships.
I know you know this, and you probably have already suggested it, and maybe she's already had it. But, Tom, I'm bringing your girlfriend into the fold to talk about Bumpa's Local.
Don't you bring her in here.
I'm telling you now that she would love the ahi salad.
Oh, yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
that was
delicious.
That was the first thing she ever tried, and now anytime we are in the neighborhood, which is, a capital circle right between I-10 and Centerville. Like
you're
right
giving
in
the people
there.
the location for Bumpa's Local 349.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I like it.
Yes.
They have delicious food. I like tacos. You can't screw up tacos, but they do really good tacos.
I am a big fan of the Uncle Sal because the Uncle Sal is sausage, peppers, and onions. You can't go wrong with that trio, man.
You like the peppers and onions more than I do.
It must be like a New York thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Everybody's a little bit Italian because they're coming from New York because the peppers and onions isn't exactly Irish
I like
cuisine.
It when they're cooked up like that.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
like
hard to beat. A little mustard? Yeah.
I'm forever going to champion the wings and the Cobb salad. It's Bumpa's Local 349. They got live music. They've got a number of televisions and, of course, tasty beverages, man. Good stuff.
Come on, pick me!
Yoo-hoo! Pick me! Pick me!
No, pick me!
Take your pick with the Florida Lottery Pick Daily Games. With Pick 2, Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5, you could win top prizes from $50 to $50,000. And you have 2 chances to win every day. The Pick Daily Games from the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Hey, I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
Hendrick.
Are you ready for kickoff? At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, it's the kickoff to savings and the best time to buy. Rock your next tailgate with a 2019 GMC Sierra 1500 truck, up to $13,000 off MSRP. That's right, up to $13,000 off. We are professional grade. Come see us on Capitol Circle Northeast under the giant American flag, or shop DaleJr.GMC.com. Not all vehicles will qualify for maximum discount. Must finance with GM Financial plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
Fox Tonight, the series premiere of Prodigal Son, the show critics call gleefully twisted.
Dad's a serial killer? I became a profiler and hunted down people like him.
There's so much more I can teach you about murder.
Save it.
Don't miss the series premiere of Prodigal Son. But first, the return of 911 will hit you like a tsunami.
Get off the pier! Go, go!
See the season premiere of 911 at its new time, followed by the series premiere of Prodigal Son, tonight starting at 8/7 Central on Fox.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. An MRI has confirmed Giants star running back Saquon Barkley has a high ankle sprain. Is expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton ruled out of their Week 4 matchup against the Texans because of a foot injury. He'll once again be replaced in the lineup by quarterback Kyle Allen. Also from Schefter, Colts safety Malik Hooker expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a torn meniscus. ESPN's Vaughn McClure reporting Falcons strong safety Keanu Neal will miss the rest of the season with a torn Achilles tendon. He faces at least 8 months of recovery. Jags cornerback Jalen Ramsey called the team to inform them he was sick and not able to practice today. Sources told Schefter that Ramsey still wants to be traded and may not practice this week. Week 3 of the NFL season caps off tonight when the Bears visit the Redskins on Monday Night Football, and a matchup against Washington may be just what Chicago QB Mitchell Trubisky and the rest of the Bears' struggling offense needs, says Monday Night Football's Joe Tessitore.
I would think that Chicago uses this as a remedy game for Mitchell Trubisky. I would expect them to lean on David Montgomery enough to open things up in the passing game and play action for Trubisky. And they need that. They desperately need that.
Joe Tessitore on Golic and Wingo. The Bears offense has managed 1 touchdown this season, while the Redskins defense has allowed at least 30 points in each of their first 2 games. Monday Night Football coverage, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Free agent receiver Antonio Brown posted on Instagram he's going to take classes at Central Michigan. Brown attended Central Michigan and played football there for 3 seasons. Baseball, Royals manager Ned Yost announcing he'll retire at the end of this season.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Do you think that's the last Sports Center update that we're subjected to news about AB?
Not even close.
I mean, we don't really need to know that he's taking classes at Central Michigan. Who cares? He's out of the league. Let's go.
I would imagine that
Move it along.
Antonio Brown's stories on ESPN.com generate so much traffic compared to others that they feel the need to put it everywhere.
I'm sure you're right. I'm thinking like there's nothing newsworthy there. My man is done. The next story I ought to hear about that would be, I guess, of remote interest would be that he's going to see a therapist. I mean, for a prolonged period of time. I mean, he's obviously not right.
A therapist named Vince McMahon in the XFL.
I just read David Hale's tweet that Florida State has astonishingly both led and trailed in the fourth quarter of every game so far this season. He went back 15 years, could not find another example of that happening through a team's first 4 games. It has been a odd viewing experience. I mean, it really has.
Yes. No lead is safe. And that's not because we're the comeback kids. It's because usually we're setting the pace, only to peter out a little bit. But not this time. Not this time.
LSU quarterback Joe Burrow has equaled or surpassed LSU's season passing touchdown total from each of the past 5 years already. That is, you talk about hell.
Yeah.
Burrow threw 6 touchdown passes, a single-game school record for LSU, in that 66-38 win over Vanderbilt. That now gives him 17 touchdown passes on the season in just 4 games. The Tigers had 17 touchdown passes total in 2014, 2017, and 2018. His 357 passing yards in the first half broke a school record as well. The 231 points that LSU has scored so far on offense through the first 4 games is the most in SEC history. LSU fans are like half naked in Baton Rouge these days on the way to class, huh?
Well, in Nashville, because I watched a good bit of that game as we were doing Tallahassee game day, and the announcers said that they ran out of beer in the stands at Vandy. They had to get more.
Yeah, the Vandy folks aren't usually boozing it up in the same way
right.
that LSU fans do or fans throughout the SEC in general do.
So apparently they ran out, but they had a reserve truck, and that person got an ovation that you could hear from underneath the stadium. And that's how the day went in Nashville for LSU fans.
I didn't know this number. Oregon has not allowed a touchdown in 3 consecutive games. That's the first time that's happened at Oregon since 1935.
So we're talking about LSU dropping 60 on the regular and Oregon not allowing touchdowns. Yeah. Wow, what a time to be alive.
Well, LSU is averaging 55 points a game. A game, Tom. They couldn't have done that against Air last year or the year before 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 or the year before. UCF and their loss, a regular season game loss for the first time since 2016, so we don't have to hear from the Knights anymore about wanting to play for a national title. They did lose to a middling to subpar Pittsburgh team. They had won 27 consecutive non-bowl games and 28 of the previous 29 total games, which is to their credit and worthy of note. But they do extend the AP poll era record of games with at least 30 points played. That's UCF's record and the record, 30 straight.
Yeah, Pitt might not be that bad on defense, like legitimately.
No, I think Pitt's good on defense, but they should not have been able to move the ball with the relative ease.
No, of course not. But, in watching and lead up to the Virginia game, I was really impressed with how they fly. They're everything we're not in the secondary. They fly to the ball. They know where to be. They're physical to the point where they're going to force you to call some things.
Yeah.
But you can't call it on every play. And so they continue to grab and scratch and claw everywhere they can. And then they turn in a really good performance against Penn State, who people think, or at least they thought heading into that weekend, is a top 15 type program. And now they land the big win over the invincible regular season UCF Knights.
Wisconsin's defense had not allowed a point in the first 10 quarters this season. That made them the first FBS team to do that in the last 15 years. They had been outscoring their opponents 138-0 in that stretch before Michigan finally scored a touchdown with 2:08 to play in the third quarter. Sorry-ass Harbaugh in Michigan. Good Lord.
We got to 3:53 p.m. before we heard about Harbaugh in Michigan. That's impressive.
It's just funny. I mean, they just don't need to refer to him as an elite coach. Just stop doing that. Also, Michigan fumbled on their opening possession of the game, and they have now done so in every game they've played this year. Yeah.
That's a note.
Yeah, that'll hurt your feelings.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? You know what else sucks? Arkansas, who lost to San Jose State. San Jose State was 0-24 versus Power Conference teams since 2007 before beating Arkansas on Saturday.
The bad in every conference is legitimately bad. There is no, the SEC doesn't have the best lower half groups of the Power Five, lower half group teams.
Now, I know these are two very different programs with different sets of standards, but we're talking about a lot of second and third year coaches that are struggling mightily. Chad Morris in 2 seasons at Arkansas is a special kind of struggle bus. I mean, this is something. He now has 3 losses to Group of 5 teams. North Texas, San Jose State. Yeah, they are steady losing to teams like this. Colorado State, I guess, is forgivable, but North Texas and San Jose State. Also, Arkansas is yet to win an SEC game.
And somehow in that professor's mind, it's still Bielema's fault.
It's better.
It's Bielema's fault. This is all just the trailing effect of hiring Bielema, which he was against from the word go.
Also, Tennessee had more turnovers than points against Florida. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9, ESPN Radio. Irashafel next. Stay tuned.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Refrigerators, washing machines, and more. And don't forget to ask about budget billing. This free program gives you more predictable bills by averaging the amount you pay each month to help avoid spikes caused by seasonal changes. With so many savings, you're sure to be a winner. Visit talgov.com or call 850-891-4968. That's talgov.com or 850-891-4968 to learn more.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now is your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles host Family Weekend inside Doak Campbell Stadium, with NC State coming to Tallahassee Saturday, September 28th. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports. Purchase your tickets today to see Florida State football live in person. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left!
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Wich Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Wich Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
Experience Tallahassee's largest Oktoberfest celebration at the Pavilion in the center of Tallahassee on Friday, October 18th. Spend the night out with friends in a beer garden featuring festive beers and wines with unlimited refills, and enjoy traditional food and desserts while testing your skills in the interactive game station. All proceeds support local seniors with elder care services. Purchase tickets at the Pavilion box office or online at eldercarebigbend.org.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. An MRI has confirmed Giants star running back Saquon Barkley has a high ankle sprain. Is expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton ruled out of their Week 4 matchup against the Texans because of a foot injury. He'll once again be replaced in the lineup by quarterback Kyle Allen. Also from Schefter, Colts safety Malik Hooker expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a torn meniscus. ESPN's Vaughn McClure reporting Falcons strong safety Keanu Neal will miss the rest of the season with a torn Achilles tendon. He faces at least 8 months of recovery. Jags cornerback Jalen Ramsey called the team to inform them he was sick and not able to practice today. Sources told Schefter that Ramsey still wants to be traded and may not practice this week. Week 3 of the NFL season caps off tonight when the Bears visit the Redskins on Monday Night Football, and a matchup against Washington may be just what Chicago QB Mitchell Trubisky and the rest of the Bears' struggling offense needs, says Monday Night Football's Joe Tessitore.
I would think that Chicago uses this as a remedy game for Mitchell Trubisky. I would expect them to lean on David Montgomery enough to open things up in the passing game and play action for Trubisky. And they need that. They desperately need that.
Joe Tessitore on Golic and Wingo. The Bears offense has managed 1 touchdown this season, while the Redskins defense has allowed at least 30 points in each of their first 2 games. Monday Night Football coverage, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Free agent receiver Antonio Brown posted on Instagram he's going to take classes at Central Michigan. Brown attended Central Michigan and played football there for 3 seasons. Baseball, Royals manager Ned Yost announcing he'll retire at the end of this season.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show. Thanks for tuning to it. Good Monday to all of you. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You can stream the show there. You're not in your car, listening on the radio. You can find it there. You can also find it if you're intermittently tuning in and out. Go back, catch up on the things you may miss. If you go to iTunes, we'll post all 3 hours upon the conclusion of the show there. You can also use the WTSM app. Good for your mobile devices. Email us if you like, jcs@979espnradio.com. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. Hope you're well. And let's get straight to it. Let's welcome my man, Ira Schoffel, warchant.com, the website. He joins us now, as he does every Monday. Hello, Ira.
How you doing, Jeff?
I'm great, man. It's so much more fun to talk on a Monday after a win. And look, they are an unfinished work in progress without question, but good to see some resiliency from a group that hadn't really shown it much so far this year. And as you noted in your 3-2-1 column, I think making teams pay for their mistakes and capitalizing on opportunities is a good sign for this team moving forward. Big picture stuff here. I'll let you start with what you saw on Saturday that you liked.
Yeah, and you're not lying. I'm starting with today, actually. The press conference, Willie Taggart's press conference, felt like, a preseason press conference again, or, just these last couple weeks. I mean, he's been not real interested in talking, and I'm sure, you can't tell if it's mad at us or mad at the team or mad at life, mad at the fact that the sun rose. He's just got a lot of reasons to not be happy, but today he was back to kind of the old Willie again, and which I think is good for the program, but also I think it speaks to the fact that he feels good about kind of what he's seeing and the fact that the guys are, maybe kind of rallying around each other a little bit. I think defensively, the biggest, takeaway I had, obviously Alex Hornibrook, played well, and that was important. But I think the biggest thing I took away was just that the defense seems to be playing competently, really for most of the Virginia game and definitely this game, and that's going to be huge because the offense is pretty productive. I mean, they have their cold spells, but they're pretty productive, and special teams is better. Had a couple setbacks this week, obviously in the kicking game, and gave up a fake punt, but it's better. I think the offense is going to be solid to good. So if the defense is just competent now with the talent you have overall, you're a team that you could win 4 or 5 of these last 7 or 8 games and get yourself into a bowl. And a couple weeks ago, I started to wonder if that would ever happen for that defense.
We agree on that. By the way, the fake punt they gave up, I mean, there couldn't have been a more obvious time to run a fake punt. I was so pissed off. I'm like, my God, they're about to go down 28-0. He kind of has to run this fake punt here, and there it is. Damn it, man. And so that felt like the fake punt Florida State ran against Auburn, where the whole world is like, here comes a fake punt. But,
except Auburn at least seemed clued in on that one. Florida State seemed to have no idea that this was. Auburn just couldn't stop it. Florida State had nobody even over there.
Yeah, Auburn couldn't stop it because Carlos Williams is a freak. He's just faster than anybody that size should be. But that said, all right, so they overcome Ricky Aguayo's mess and the fake punt and some problems for the first time this year on special teams. And they do overcome blowing a 21-point lead by giving up 24 straight, but then responding with 14 straight. So that is a positive sign. I wonder if it will engender the kind of confidence necessary moving forward to when, if they get out to a big lead, they can finally finish somebody off with authority. I don't know what it's going to take necessarily, but now they know they can win a game even when they face adversity. That's got to mean something.
I think it means a lot. You get to a point with when things aren't going well, and especially as the lead starts slipping away again, you know, you can sense that the players are kind of waiting for the next bad thing to happen. And it's almost like guys kind of get paralyzed a little bit. And that's why it was so big to see Cyrus Fagan make that play. Not that it was an unbelievable play or that he, that it was a great pass and he just made an unbelievable play. I mean, it was a bad pass and he was in the right place, but he did break on it. He did go to make the play. He didn't get down in the dumps when the way the team was playing. And again, I think that's what's been happening when you've been blowing these leads is you kind of wait for something bad to happen. And now that they have had something good to happen, I think that reinforces the idea that, hey, you can be the one that makes the play. You don't have to wait for somebody else. You can be the one that stems the tide. And that can be, something that's important. Now, again, we have to see them put 2 consecutive games back to get back. I don't know if you heard on the press conference, but Willie seemed surprised when I told him that FSU hasn't won back-to-back ACC games since 2016. So it's been a while since Florida State's put back-to-back winning efforts together. You can't assume it's going to happen, but at least they know it's in there.
Man, I hadn't thought about that, Ira.
That'll hurt your feelings, won't
That
it?
does really hurt your feelings quite a bit, man.
That is the same exact reaction as Willie Taggart had at the press conference today.
He's like, what?
I didn't. Yeah, that's. I talked to Willie this morning, and I hadn't looked up that futility prior to talking to him, so I'm glad I wasn't the one to posit that. But I'm glad you told me because now I can sort of temper expectations. No, I mean, now's the time. Look, this is not an elite NC State football team rolling in here. Now, I know certainly Florida State's not an elite team, so we probably have another war on our hands coming down to the fourth quarter. No question. I might say that about every single game that remains on the schedule this year, not named Clemson and Florida, although we'll see about Florida, but certainly not Clemson. Every other game, Florida State could win those games, and I think it's going to be it's imperative that they win this one to get the 3-2 going into that bye week because I think most of us chalk up the Clemson game as a loss. But, the Wake and Syracuse and Miami and BC and Alabama State, certainly, I mean, these are all games Florida State could and maybe even you can argue in many cases should win. And so it is. We said last week this past Saturday was an important game. I think this is a really important game as well. They got to continue to grow.
Yeah, and I think a little bit in different ways. I think last week wasn't a big game where if you won it, it sent any kind of great message about your program, but it was so much better than the alternative. If you had lost it, it would have been a disaster. This game, I don't know, NC State, they haven't beaten anybody, but it's a program that's done some things in the last couple of years, and they're 3-1, so it's not quite so embarrassing. It's not a new coach. Dave Doran's been there for a while. So if you lost this game, I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's the exact opposite. I think it would say something positive if you put together 2 straight wins. I also think, I think the crowd's going to be a little bit better this week. Obviously, last week there was nobody there, and it's embarrassing, and it's going to be problematic. Really need to win that game also because that crowd becomes a huge problem when there's nobody at your games that early in the season. So I do think there'll be more people there this weekend. It's Parents' Weekend, so you get a little bit better crowd. Maybe you get into close to 60,000 again, something crazy. And then, you got some fans dipping their toe in the water again. I think it's important to show them that progress and for them to feel good about it. And so I think for a lot of reasons, this is a big game. And like you said, you'd love to get over 500 because you have a feeling you're going to be dropping back to 500 2 weeks later at the Clemson game.
Yeah, well, you touched on it, and so let's talk about it. Yeah, that was when I walked into that stadium, Ira, I was aghast. I mean, look, I've been coming to games for a very, very long time, and I don't ever recall. I mean, I know I saw one stat today that it was like the worst attendance since '83. I actually came to games in '83. I don't really recall anything that bad. That's sweet Jesus. And looking around that one side of the stadium, you're just like, well, there's nobody there. It's blinding with the sun shining off the bleachers. I mean, it was brutal. And yeah, listen, that can't be ignored. No coach runs out of that tunnel and sees a half-empty stadium and thinks, well, this is okay. I'm going to be all right. I mean, you honestly, in those moments, I recall a couple of situations at the University of Florida, and I remember thinking, well, that's the end of that because Ron Zook had a moment, and obviously Muschamp had a moment where you're all looking up and you're going, there's 30,000 empty seats. That's how guys get fired.
Yeah, really, from as long as I've been covering Florida State, kind of the low standard. I don't know what the opposite of a gold standard is. The paper standard. I don't know the cement standard. Whatever it is, was that the game that was Mickey Andrews' last game. That
Maryland game where you could run stadium steps. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the low, and this was worse than that.
Yes, it was.
And that's remarkable. And so again, the good thing is, if we all know, if you play well and if you start winning, and if you show some things that people can identify with and rally around, I think we talked a lot of the previous weeks about how this was not a very likable team. I thought the way they battled in that game, losing Jaden Lars would be as emotional as that was. Losing James Blackman going down, his injury isn't as serious, but your quarterback, one of your star players on defense, both go down with injuries. One of them's devastating, has to be carted off. Then you have, you lose a lead, and you show some resolve and come back and win. It felt like it was an effort that I think fans could appreciate and kind of rally around. If you start playing that kind of football, they'll come back. But you do have to start playing that kind of football consistently.
And what you can't have happen, and luckily didn't happen, is have your star receiver drop the deuces signal as he's going into the end zone and have a touchdown called back and lose the football game. You want to talk about unlikable. Can you imagine if that had actually been called?
Oh, believe me, I thought about it. I actually almost wrote about it. Could you just wrap your mind around what the fan base would have done at that moment.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine.
No, yeah, just move on. Don't even try to think about it. But yeah, that would have been a complete disaster. And because of the way, the psyche of this team, you feel like if they had gotten moved back to the 18.
Oh, they're not scoring. They're not scoring. Exactly. Well, and they certainly wouldn't have kicked a field goal. So, I'll tell you that right now. So, whoo! But you know what? Yeah. It wasn't called, and they did win the game, and they did show resolve. And lastly, I'll ask you quickly, your thoughts. It's one game. He took what was there, but I kind of liked what I saw from Alex Hornibrook. It's the exact reason you brought him in. He's got a ton of experience. He's limited, sure, but so is James. So you got a couple of guys that appear to be likable guys working really hard, playing their best, and certainly in the case of Hornibrook, a kid that isn't going to be nervous. He wasn't nervous at all. Again, it's one game, but he's not going to be overwhelmed by the situation.
No, you're right. You couldn't ask for more in terms of that part of it. He's got some limitations, but man, he is A+++ in all of the other stuff, and not getting rattled and keeping everybody else calm. One thing that I think you see in that game, and again, I'm not campaigning for Alex Hornibrook to beat out Blackman, but I think one thing you see in that situation is one area where James kind of lacks, and we talked about it the week before, is Hornibrook's one of those guys that not only knows what he's supposed to be doing, he knows what everybody else is supposed to be doing, and he's calm about it, but calm but hurried, calm but getting to the line quickly, getting the signs quickly, communicating quickly, and while still being calm. And I think with James, sometimes it feels a little frantic. It feels a little bit like he's panicking a little bit, and so that's big, and that's what comes with being a fifth-year senior. Now I think that again, if he doesn't play Saturday, which seems likely because James did get hurt pretty bad, even though he's day-to-day, according to Willie Taggart. If Hornibrook's playing, you got to think NC State's going to have some things dialed up for him a little bit differently, and I think that he's going to have to deal with that. But no, you couldn't be more impressed with what he did, and I think it's going to be an interesting conversation going forward, even when James is healthy, because where he lacks some things physically, James lacks some things also. And, it's going to be interesting to see how they balance those two.
Yeah, to me, it's a lot about the pre-snap stuff. He's really good in the pre-snap stuff, has a real good understanding of where he wants to go based on what the defense is trying to do to him within the system. And that's a credit to coming in here and working hard and learning that system. Ira, always a pleasure, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jeff. See you, man.
All right, take care. That's Ira Chappelle. I will say, warchant.com, the website, I will say this. Here's where it does get interesting, and I think they're both going to play moving forward for a variety of reasons, and they both can help this team, so that's fine. If they go out and beat NC State 45-24,
right? Yeah,
you got an interesting conversation.
I like how you went with 45 because that means there are no field goals kicked; it's all touchdowns.
Well, you can score. 45, you'd have to kick.
Oh, no, you have one. I'm sorry. That's one field goal.
Yeah, you'd have to kick a field goal. Just the one. It's from 22 yards.
Okay.
It barely skirts inside the left goalpost. Upright.
I refuse to watch kicks the rest of the year on Saturdays and Sundays. That's what I've resolved after this weekend. If it's not a college extra point, old school NFL, but a current college extra point, I'm not watching it. Not happening.
Hey, you know how I told you that Iowa State ran roughshod over Louisiana Monroe, who we struggled against? Iowa State set school records for total yards, 714, second half points, 45, total points against an FBS team, 72, and and about 5 other records. And Brock Purdy threw for 510 yards. Just something to point out. I'm not trying to bring any kind of bitterness in here. I'm just saying, damn it, man. That's
Well, maybe if you keep these two quarterbacks fresh when they're both healthy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they both add up to one good quarterback.
We'll amass. That's right. That's exactly right. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Feels like so much longer, right?
Then, from executive producer Chuck Lorre comes a love story made in America.
So where are you from?
Nigeria.
Wow, that's a heck of a commute, huh?
Bob Hartz-Avashola's series premiere after the season premiere of The Neighborhood. CBS tonight.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude, starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Cornerstone Tool and Fastener and Makita welcome back football season. And to kick it off, we are bringing the best deals of the year. Buy a brushless premium Makita 5-amp hour kit, get an instant $50 gift rebate, and your choice of another bare tool free. Plus, we are adding in another 5-amp battery for free. That's 3 batteries and 3 tools. Check out our specials on cordless blowers, chainsaws, compressors, and so much more. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
You're listening to the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Some big picture NFL talk here for a second. Oh, by the way, I don't think we need to do the thing where we penalize players who severely hurt themselves and in response throw their helmet to knowing their season and perhaps their career is over. And that's what happened in that Falcons game. I don't know if I watched that game because I had Indianapolis, and I was watching intently, as one would when maybe potato chips are on the line. And, the Colts could do no wrong early on. But I did feel bad for Ken O'Neill, who now we know suffered a torn Achilles tendon. He's going to miss the rest of the season, and, that can be a really tough injury to come back from. And he suffered it just before halftime. So you're going, I'm thinking of two different injuries. My apologies. There's the one, that injury. Then the play with the helmet throw is for the Falcons game.
That's correct.
Yes, and I was looking at the play as it happens, and he throws the helmet in the back of the end zone, and the refs immediately throw the flag. And I know the spirit of that rule and why you have it, but if a player is clearly injured, or if maybe you realize afterwards that it wasn't like out of anger.
Yeah, you pick it up.
You just pick it up. You don't have to call that. I don't know why they did that.
Red Zone caught it. I had Red Zone on for the 1 o'clock window, and they had the whole context of it. It didn't go back to it later. It was in the flow of the broadcast, and I 100% agree. Like in the beginning, you go, "What is this guy doing, you jackass?" And then you realize, well, okay, that's him in pain. He's in pain and fear and shock. Adrenaline's going nuts because he knows the sound. He knows the sound of what's happening to his body and the feeling. Nah, man, you pick that flag up.
4 injuries, and I want to make sure because I just confused the names right there. There were 4 injuries on Sunday to either a knee or an ankle or an Achilles. So you had like really severe problems. And thankfully, I really would have hated to see Saquon Barkley lose the season. As it is, a high ankle sprain is really, really bad because, rightfully you'll hear announcers talk about this, that sometimes you're better off just breaking it. That the high ankle sprain can take sometimes up to 8 to 10 weeks. Now, they list him as 4 to 8, and he seems superhuman.
It's a good thing they got Jesus a quarterback while they're at it.
But there were several players, and that Falcons-Colts game was one of them. There were several players that you could tell, you knew immediately they were in severe pain. In 2 situations, only one did they throw the flag. Did you see a flag thrown when a player threw his helmet as a result of the injury? You got to go back and pick that up. You can't do that. It's totally different than if a player is slamming his helmet down while yelling at an official or something like that. You got to pick that up. That's ridiculous. They are such sticklers to these rules. I have absolutely decided that, and we knew it beforehand, I just don't want to review pass interference. I don't want coaches to have the option to review pass interference. I do believe, I know David Hale was tweeting about this earlier today, and I agree with him. If you're going to slow everything down to a frame by frame, you are really going to see. You're going to see something. You're going to see it because guys are in contact with one another. The hand fighting has gone on in football forever and a day, for egregious calls, and the Bucs were a benefactor of one, where your arm is being pinned towards the sideline or something like that. I get it. I still wouldn't want it reviewed, even though it benefited Tampa Bay in one of those situations with the O.J. Howard play on the sideline.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like it. I don't want officials to have to review any more things, and I don't want coaches to constantly have the ability to slow the game down any more than it already is. It drives me nuts. I'm close to wanting very few things to be reviewed, period. I've said that for a couple of years now. Momentum of games come to a screeching halt. It's awful. It's every Sunday. The games are dramatic, and there are a lot of moments where you're having a ton of fun watching football, and I just think we could even better the product if we remove so much of this just momentum-crushing reviews.
Yeah, allow me to suggest that if you get inside the 20-yard line, maybe the 15, that you're in a 3-point zone where if you get to 4th down, you can just take 3 points. You don't actually have to kick the ball. It's kind of like the intentional walk now in baseball. You can just say, no, we're good. We're good. Let's not waste everybody's time because we know that this is going to go through the uprights. So you know what, New York, we're going to run it down to 3 seconds. We'll trade the 3 seconds for the 3 points. And we're 2-1. That would be my suggestion for the NFL.
Did you see, I don't know if you had, but holding penalties in the NFL plummeted on Sunday.
Best thing Tom Brady's ever done.
And, I would say that. By the way, this is all in the wake of a conference call or Tom Brady tweeting, but they called it a conference call between Senior Vice President of Officiating Al Riveron and the referees. Officials threw 41 flags for offensive holding in 14 games Sunday, an average of 2.9 per game, according to ESPN stats and info. In the first 33 games of the season, there were 188, averaging nearly 6 per game. They had gone nuts. So they, in the wake of not only the announcers complaining in the midst of their duty, which is not something you normally see or hear, but then Tom Brady, the ambassador of football, saying, I'm turning this off. It's unwatchable. Can't do it. Let us play. They got the message. They stopped calling holding at such an alarming rate.
Did the Jets cover yesterday?
They covered.
They did?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Guess I wasn't the only one who got backdoored in a terrible way.
The Jets were terrible in the game. They
scored?
Well, they were 0 for on third down. I know that.
Okay, so the Patriots hadn't given up a touchdown since, I believe, the Kansas City game in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a muffed punt because their punt returner was Edelman, and he got hurt in the game. So they had their backup guy in there. He muffs the punt, and they basically kick and bat the ball into the end zone, and the Jets recover it. And then they take Brady out later in the game, later in the second half, and the backup quarterback overthrows his receiver for a pick six. That's how the Jets score and cover the game.
Was it Stidham?
Probably. Yeah, whoever. I don't know.
They pulled him.
Oh, did they really?
That's Belichick. He doesn't.
I didn't follow back up with it. I just saw that. Oh my God, this is how they're going to cover.
He put Brady back in the game.
Yeah, I believe that. Maybe Bill had some action on it.
I think that's funny. I think that Bill's like, I can't do it. I have not seen the reaction to the interview he did with Dana Jacobson, but apparently he was an ass, and people have really crushed him today for that because he gave this intimidating stare at Dana Jacobson when she asked him about the AB situation.
Yes, I saw it.
He was enraged, right?
Yes.
So
I don't know if they had agreed. Now, listen, I'm not trying to explain it away from him.
Okay, so the first thing you would guess here is that he told CBS, I'll do the interview, no questions about Antonio Brown. I'm not doing it, Brown. I'm not doing it. So I don't know. I mean, that would be my guess. She, of course, has to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
She does.
When she asked the question, she says, I would be remiss if I didn't ask what was the last straw about Antonio Brown. Something along those lines.
Yeah,
I'm not getting it word for word.
She.
And he says, we're focused on the Jets. And then she says, thanks, coach. And he doesn't respond. She puts the microphone in his face, and he just is locked in on the death stare.
Yeah, man, he's got to understand that's a nothing game. The game's never in question. The Jets went 0 for the world on third down. Falk is their quarterback. There's no question she can ask you about the defense or the offense. I mean, this is a nothing game. That's really the only question she can ask.
Yeah, it would have been better if they just didn't do the interview because it's in the tunnel anyway. It's not like it's, something like a 5-minute feature like they typically do on the pregame shows. It's a very much a flyby type of interview.
So those two giant numbers were split, by the way. The Jets do cover, but the Dolphins do not, right?
And then, the Cowboys rally to cover.
Yeah, it was going to be close.
Because at halftime, they could have been losing.
10-6 for a while.
10-6, Miami has the ball inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I actually thought, as I was kind of checking that score, like, well, this is why you just don't touch those numbers. I mean, this is – if the Dolphins score there, they're going to cover. And the Cowboys have no interest in spending a lot of time running a ton of plays. It's going to shorten the hell out of the game because they can't lose it. So just run the ball and get the hell out of Dodge with your 10-point win. And so you're thinking at least that at that point, there are a lot of crazy things. You got screwed in the Baltimore-Kansas City game. I got screwed in the Bucs game. It's 28-10. It's 28-10. I took the Bucs, gave the 6. It's 28-10 against a rookie quarterback. You're beating that ass. It's over. Jameis throws for 380 yards. Mike Evans nearly goes for 200. He throws 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, has a good game. They're running the football. They're at home. It's 100 degrees. That's insane to lose that game.
Yeah, I was up 17. I think in the middle of the third quarter. So they made it longer into the game with that lead as the Bucs gave it up immediately to start the second half.
Second half, yeah.
And it was 15 points in like the first 5.5 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Kansas City had completely taken over the game, and Lamar is running for his life, and he just throws up 2 or 3 prayers, and they're all answer.
Of course they are, buddy.
Because of course they are.
Because of course they
One
are.
of which was a push-off and Kansas City challenged for PI. I was like, hey, they're going to win this one. No, they didn't win the challenge for PI there on the push-off.
They shouldn't be able to challenge it anyhow.
Well, Lamar shouldn't be able to run 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, be falling, and just chuck the ball up like it's Johnny to Mike Evans, and it can't work on Sundays. But it did. It did. And then, of course, they do go ahead and score the meaningless touchdown at the end when I would have been A-okay.
Oh, well, buddy, if you're feeling that way, let's throw around more bad beats. I had Denver +9.
Did you really?
They're covering the whole game. They're covering the whole game. By the way, Green Bay's offense is garbage. Those two teams, I know Green Bay's 3-0. They're not very good. That's not a very that LaFleur offense sucks. And Aaron Rodgers is not happy. You just watch it
Every week, those two.
No.
They have spirited conversations, to say the least.
That's not going well. That's not going well. It's kind of like, man, there's a lot of things that we're starting to figure out here. One, Patrick Mahomes is generationally great. Like, watching him is insane. He plays the position now better than anybody in the world, and that includes Tom Brady. Watching him is insane. Nobody should do what he does. They're cartoon numbers.
Yeah, he's on pace for, 6,800 yards?
He is unbelievable. He is a guy, and I don't usually use the phrase because it's tired, that I would spend my hard-earned money to go see every time I could. If I lived in Kansas City, I'd be at every home game just to see him. He's a freak. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I love him.
And now they have apparently 9 wide receivers who can stretch the field.
I just love him. It's unbelievable to watch him. So there's that, right? We got that. Brady's still great. The Patriots' defense is the thing that's going to cause people to wonder whether or not they can go undefeated again, because that defense is evil right now, and they're not allowing for anything. Now, I'll grant you 2 of their 3 teams they've played are the Dolphins and the Jets, but we'll wait and see a little bit longer here. But I do think they're good. I think that obviously tonight's Monday night game features 2 pretty bad teams. Washington's bad, especially on defense. Chicago's bad on offense, but really good on defense, so they'll be in every game. If you want to go through here, Cincinnati's terrible. Buffalo is somehow 3-0. I don't think they're very good, but they are 3-0.
Okay, so
crazy game.
This is where NFL Red Zone can go to hell. They show pretty much that entire second half because it's close. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Who the hell cares about Cincinnati and Buffalo?
Well,
no one. I'd rather watch a 10-point, and not because I got potato chips. I'd rather watch a 10-point Kansas City Baltimore. I mean, come on. Just because it's 14-14 doesn't mean the nation needs to watch Andy Dalton versus Allen. No, thank you.
Allen's getting better. Andy Dalton's not. Allen's getting better. We'll see about him. Jury's out on him. He is getting better. When you watch him now, you're like, okay, he's making some big boy throws. He's got a huge arm. He always has, and he's not just running around anymore.
Can't wait to see how Allen plays against the Bengals. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm just fired up for that.
I'm not saying we should watch. I'm just saying I'm noting that he's getting better. He may be all right. Denver is in a world of hurt because Flacco can't play anymore and is stealing their money. And they don't play the kind of defense that they used to play. I mean, they're not getting to the quarterback. It's weird.
No, they had real trouble doing that yesterday.
No, they don't get to the quarterback. So, I mean, I don't know.
How about Seattle getting their ass handed to him twice at home in 2 tries?
It's a weird game, too. New Orleans just had some big plays, but it was it's a weird game. And San Francisco's 3-0, and I'm not a believer. I'm not. I don't think – I went back and watched the short version of that today, and – he's not great. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo did not play great in that game. It's a weird game. The Steelers just couldn't take the game. They had it. They had it several times. Those 2 teams, I mean, obviously San Francisco is good enough that if he stops throwing interceptions, Jimmy should have thrown 2 more interceptions. Just terrible misreads. He threw the pick 6 against us. He had another one last week. I mean, he's making mistakes. Now, he's talented, so we'll see. But you know who's really good? Minnesota's really good. Oakland's not. Oakland's not.
That game was academic. That was not to be a redux of Buffalo a couple of years ago.
No, not at all. And I was comfortable with my Minnesota pick, stuck with it. I thought that seemed the most glaringly obvious, which is sometimes the scariest.
Right.
I mean,
like Kansas City, Baltimore.
I didn't think that seemed.
They beat the hell out of them. Lamar Jackson looked like ass.
No. You're talking the result, yes, but on the paper, it did not look glaringly obvious because Kansas City's defense is the second worst in all of football. So that's part of the problem for them moving forward is they'll score 1,000 points. They're going to give up a ton of points.
And yet that quarterback was under 50% into the second half.
I know. I'm not trying to make a case for Lamar.
Everybody in the world is.
They are.
That was a reality check game, but apparently reality check where they only lose by 5.
You know who got their ass kicked at home? Arizona. to a backup quarterback with Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, McCaffrey went for like $180 all-purpose. That dude's going to start again. Cam was announced out today for the game against the Texans.
Probably an upgrade at this point.
Might be.
It would appear so. I think it's an upgrade up to this point. And then the Eagles lose. That was kind of predictable, though, at least from the spread standpoint. I didn't know if they'd lose the game outright, but they're all banged up.
Baldinger said in his little film tweets that they dropped at least 6 that he could see, maybe more, but at least 6.
9 is what, according to the document I read this morning.
Oh, really? Yeah.
9 passes. Yeah, well, 2 of those are strained, so it's either 7 or 8. There's a lot of drops. Aguilar is a dropping machine. That guy will drop a pass now.
You saw the video of the guy.
Oh, that's the best.
Guy was just throwing babies out of there.
And we were catching him. Unlike Aguilar. That's my kind of fan. I was like, that guy's awesome.
You know what's funny is, I think that if Philly's going to be without Deshaun and Alshon for any period of time, and I'm sure they'll be back, but they might want to give a call to old Michael Crabtree.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
Oh, man. That's the way I feel about our kickers. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Xfinity delivers the fastest internet, the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home, and the most Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. Only from Xfinity. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today to experience all Xfinity has to offer.
Florida State football is upon us, and Garnet and Gold is your football-ready destination. With the latest Nike footwear, team-issued apparel, sideline headwear, and Nike coaches polos all in stock right now. Whether you're on the sidelines, in the stands, or watching the game at home, it's time to get football ready. Step up your wardrobe with a hot new line of FSU apparel in stock right now at all 3 Garnet and Gold locations. West Pensacola Street in Killarn near Fresh Market or on Governor Square Boulevard. If you're a Seminole, wear your store. One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Jeff Cameron here, and mark it down. Wednesdays on my show, we're giving away Which Wicked sandwiches. That's right. Tune in to the Jeff Cameron Show every Wednesday for your chance at a free Wicked 5 meats and 3 cheeses of deliciousness. Which is Wicked Wednesdays every week on the JCS.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. GRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. An MRI has confirmed Giants star running back Saquon Barkley has a high ankle sprain, is expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton ruled out of their Week 4 matchup against the Texans because of a foot injury. He'll once again be replaced in the lineup by quarterback Kyle Allen. Also from Schefter, Colts safety Malik Hooker expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a torn meniscus. ESPN's Vaughn McClure reporting Falcons strong safety Keanu Neal will miss the rest of the season with a torn Achilles tendon. He faces at least 8 months of recovery. Jags cornerback Jalen Ramsey called the team to inform them he was sick and not able to practice today. Sources told Schefter that Ramsey still wants to be traded and may not practice this week. Week 3 of the NFL season caps off tonight when the Bears visit the Redskins on Monday Night Football, and a matchup against Washington may be just what Chicago QB Mitchell Trubisky and the rest of the Bears' struggling offense needs, says Monday Night Football's Joe Tessitore.
I would think that Chicago uses this as a remedy game for Mitchell Trubisky. I would expect them to lean on David Montgomery enough to open things up in the passing game and play action for Trubisky. And they need that. They desperately need that.
Joe Tessitore on Golic and Wingo. The Bears offense has managed 1 touchdown this season, while the Redskins defense has allowed at least 30 points in each of their first 2 games. Monday Night Football coverage, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Free agent receiver Antonio Brown posted on Instagram he's going to take classes at Central Michigan. Brown attended Central Michigan and played football there for 3 seasons. Baseball, Royals manager Ned Yost announcing he'll retire at the end of this season.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Is there any chance you were up watching the Pac-12 After Dark fiasco with Washington State and UCLA?
I wasn't watching, unfortunately. I was awake celebrating the fact that we didn't, do what we did the first 2 weeks of the season where we had a loss and one that felt like a loss.
It's a weird thing to see a game like that. My dad and I were just up talking, and they kept interrupting into that game, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to suddenly, it was 42-17 Washington State. We just assumed, rightfully so, given UCLA's problems this year, that Chip was going to be on the wrong end of another ass kicking. And the next thing you know, you get this absurd second half, 50 second half points for them, 50 and a half to win 67-63. And the way I thought about it was that the Pac-12 had a devastating weekend. USC beating Utah is devastating for the Pac-12. That'll do it. Grand opening, grand closing for the Pac-12 yet again. That's the end of that. No playoff push for you guys.
Devastating.
Well, and it was weird, too, because Utah won on almost all the categories necessary to win a football game, gave up big plays, and USC got the win. And for whatever reason, Utah cannot win in Los Angeles. They just don't beat USC there, even when they're the much better team. So that happens first. If you're a Pac-12 fan, you're like, well, that's not good.
Devastating.
And then you'd think, well, that Washington State team is awfully scrappy, and they'll score on you, and they're well coached, and okay, and they got really good quarterback play, and kid throws 9 touchdown passes and loses.
Devastating.
Can you imagine that? 9. That is insane.
How are you supposed to feel in the locker room after the game?
He threw 9 touchdown passes.
Well, I think that's a really complex question. Or at least the answer to it should be complex. If I throw 9 touchdown passes in a Power 5 game and I'm sitting in the locker room a loser, how should I feel?
It's angry, furious. It's nonsense.
But proud? Like there should be pride that you threw 9 touchdown passes.
Most of the time, these games, these absurd games, are the ones where obviously it's like triple overtime or something like that. This wasn't that. This was.
Now, Oregon, as you get to see, this is what happens. You know, like Mike Leach, you're talking about coughing up a second half, and then the next thing you know, hacking up a lung. Here you go. Braden Point signed with the Lightning today, by the way. It's, under $7 million a year for 3 years. We did it again. There's your Lightning note of the day as you recover.
I'm losing it. That went down the wrong way.
Uh-oh.
I got a sip of water, and I was like, bizarre. Tell us about Braden Point for a second.
I'll tell you about Braden Point for a second. Braden Point is one of the no, I can't do that. I can't do that to you. People said, all right, that's fine. You get your Lightning note.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. This is happening. I'm 48. What's going on here? All of a sudden,
you have random coughing fits now. I have to be like on alert. This is yellow alert. It's the standard.
It's just
alert
this
here.
year. It didn't happen last year. I hope it's not a thing.
Wait till you're 50.
It's get through it 70 times. By the way, for Washington State, it's just 9 touchdown passes and you lose.
Well, but Oregon did win. Proximity to the top of the rankings, at least, right? They're still there.
Washington
and in play.
dominated BYU, which we thought they would.
Yeah.
So, okay, and as it turns out, I guess with the Oregon team that you're talking about, the reason that's a big deal is they own the game against Auburn, and Auburn is emerging each week now as a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the West is fascinating and really worth our time because that LSU offense is unbelievable. And watching them every week now, throwing 4, 5, 6 touchdown passes, it's the norm. It's not going anywhere. They're going to do that every week. Now, they gave up some cheapies late to Vandy and probably made you nervous there.
They did? Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see the one cheapie? It's 3rd down and 9 or whatever it is from their own 5-yard line, 6-yard line. They hand the ball off.
Fumble.
The kid just outright drops the football.
Guy scoops it and rolls in the end zone for a touchdown. I know. I saw it.
It's like, whoa.
Well, what are we doing here? Are we trying to screw me here?
The one thing that can't happen.
Yeah.
So it at least made it interesting into the 4th. But by the time we're kicking off here locally, everything was A-okay because they have no soul. They want to score. It's important to find teams that aren't satisfied with hitting a number. LSU is so not used to this that they want to hit new plateaus every single week.
Well, you got to think about this, right? That identity in Baton Rouge, as we well know, having been up there to watch the baseball team win right there in that famed locale, and we are certainly enjoying ourselves that night and talking to the locals.
Maybe that Uber driver was right. Who knows?
Yeah, he's thinking of you right now driving around Baton Rouge like, I wish that kid would get back in my car. I'd give him a little what for.
32-year-old kid, yeah.
That's what he's thinking because he was older. So he thought you were a kid. He's like, that brat didn't know what he's talking about. I never got a chance to retort.
I'm sorry, when I see history, I'm not going to bank on history being made, at the drop of a hat.
Okay, real quick, what's the race to between LSU and Alabama later on this year? Good God almighty.
42, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the 40s. That's going to be a very different Alabama-LSU game than we've seen in years past.
One of a kind.
Yeah, very, very different. Gone are the 6-3, 6-0 days. I mean, we're going to see some.
Yeah.
Let's see the scoreboard lit up there. But Auburn's good. They're physical and they're really good. So I go back to them. So Auburn's good. If you guys want to engage in Schadenfreude, that's up to you. Just go check those A&M message boards about that Jimbo offense and see what you think.
I didn't even go looking for it. I made a mention of it on social yesterday because, Florida State fans might be willing to retweet some thoughts, and you might see them.
Well, what's funny is listening to the complaints about how complex the offense is and how their guys need to how they need to incorporate some modern concepts for these kids. And, he's hell-bent on doing this one thing, and unless we have superior athletes, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to win, and Jameis isn't going to walk through that door anytime soon. I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. And it's going to get worse before it gets better because that was the game you had to win at home. We talked about that. But with the remainder of their schedule and they're not scoring now, it could get dicey.
He doesn't deserve the boots we gave him.
The Gig'em folks are pissed off, to say the least.
You know what, Jimbo? Wear the sneakers. Don't wear the boots.
Those white K-Swiss. Where are those? Loser.
All white K-Swiss.
Well, and then there's, of course, Mr. Harbaugh, which I don't know why I take such joy in that. I have Michigan friends that I like very much, but I think it's because he's so annoying.
Oh, no, it's because it was they were holding a ticker tape parade in the national media the moment the hire was made. That everything was, it was a fait accompli. Here comes at least one title, if not more. The king is back in college football. The man who took Stanford to prominence is going to finish it was already written and it was ordained the moment it happened. Yesterday I had on, before the NFL started, the NFL Network pregame show. And, of course, Rich Eisen is a noted UM alum and a huge supporter of the team.
Right.
And Steve Mariucci, every analytical point he could make and did make in the show, mentioned something about the state of Wisconsin. Every single one, even if there was no context and it made no sense whatsoever. All he did was mention Wisconsin some way, somehow.
Oh, my goodness.
It was awesome.
I don't know. Here's your problem, though, if you want to talk big picture with Harbaugh's situation in Michigan and the $7+ million a year, and they don't beat anybody who's any good. They should have lost to Army. But you look at this situation with them, and they didn't look good against Middle Tennessee either. Harbaugh's reputation was that he obviously could coach. He did a great job at Stanford. Not a good job, a great job at Stanford. And then he went on to the San Francisco 49ers and took them to the Super Bowl. So you can't do that if you don't have the acumen to coach. He's got that, right? Here's what else he has. An insufferable personality. Not somebody you can be around for very long without really wanting to tune out. People put up with that when you're winning a lot of football games. See Nick Saban. See Bill Belichick. I'm sure people would describe them as very difficult to work for and to be around on a regular basis because they're perfectionists and they demand that of everybody else. And if you're caught slipping even for a second, it's probably hell to pay.
Jimbo complained about it, and he's insane and insufferable himself.
Right. And so what I would tell you about that is this, that, okay, those guys win, and they do so in record fashion. Bill Belichick will go down in history as the greatest NFL coach in history and of all time. Obviously, I think at this point we can say Nick Saban too. You can be that way if you're going to be the greatest of all time at something. People just have to deal with it. It's like Michael Jordan's teammates having to deal with Michael Jordan. What are you going to do? What are you going to say to Mike, right? You're going to ride on for those championship rings is what you're going to do, and quietly badmouth them to your wife or something. That's about the extent of it. Harbaugh loses every meaningful game he plays now. Every meaningful game Michigan plays, they lose, and it's usually pretty decisive. They're not winning. So this is a double whammy because that stuff was fine at Stanford and San Francisco, but it's not going to be fine anymore here because they're not winning. They don't have to put up with it. And I wonder if you've got, just speculative, of course. I'm not there. I don't know. I don't cover that team on a daily basis. But I'd be very curious to know what that athletic department's like and what his coaching staff thinks of him and now what those players think of him, dealing with that nonsense every year and then going out and losing and getting depantsed every time you play somebody who's a pseudo-rival.
I know it's not as dire. It's not nearly as dire as the situation that you're describing because they acquitted themselves fairly well on the road this weekend. But did you hear the note from Le Batard this morning on Notre Dame? Their last 19 games against top 5 competition.
Well, they're probably like 1-18 or something.
There it is, dead on.
Yeah,
1-18. Yeah, but if you're a team of significance in a program like Notre Dame.
Yeah, you win one of those. But how many people have good records against top 5 teams on the road? I don't know of many coaches that do.
But at some point, it gets a little
not
bit.
named Nick Saban.
When you're talking about programs standing and getting the benefit of the doubt, all that kind of stuff.
Well, we've known the Notre Dame rules are different for a long, long time. They're really the only school of their kind that could get away with not being in a conference and get the benefit of the doubt. There's literally a rule that benefits them. We understand that. But I thought they played really well, and I thought they played better than I would have given them credit for against Georgia.
They controlled the game. I think Lee Sterling was the one who talked about that.
Yeah,
like if Kelly knows he doesn't have a chance, he's going to find a way to shorten it and
then you play good defense and then run the football and
like if he can't do it with Plan A, he will come up with a Plan B. He's not going to just die.
Not stubborn, just banging his head against the wall. Right. The stuff that A&M fans are complaining about today about Jimbo.
Sure.
Yeah, no, he's going to do something different because this isn't going to work. So. Yeah, and that's rare because most of the time you do what you do. You are what you are. That's why you rep those things so many times. You can't just do something different. Now, obviously, you can throw in some wrinkles here and there, but you kind of got to be who you are. And so I thought it was impressive with them. And I know that the stats are terrible for them against good teams. Bottom line is Notre Dame is not amongst the creme de la creme of college football when we talk about modern playoff contenders. They're not. They're they got to the championship game, obviously, and got their doors blown off by Alabama that year. Had they played Georgia, they'd have lost that game by just as ugly a margin. We know that about them. And for the most part, you just don't trust them. I thought they had a really good defense a year ago, but I wouldn't have trusted them against an Alabama. And obviously they got killed by Clemson. Now, they got a bit of a reprieve there because so did Alabama. But that game, I actually think if I were a Notre Dame fan, I'd go, okay, I feel pretty good the rest of the way now. I mean, I feel like we can contend with just about anybody if we go between the hedges, and that game is
competitive. But your season's over if you've got playoff aspirations. That's it. You're done.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you're a Notre Dame fan, I guess you believe you're a playoff team if you're a fan coming into the season, but Ian Book's your quarterback, and you're not talented enough.
Oh, if I watched him play Louisville week 1, I would have said, well, okay.
That's the end of that, right?
10 wins, hopefully.
Yeah, so I guess where we're at here is we've kind of crystallized some things. Alabama's really good. LSU is really good. I think Auburn's pretty damn good. Obviously, Clemson is elite. You going to throw in another contender in there?
Did you say Georgia? They didn't look that great on Saturday.
Fromm didn't look great.
But you survive a game like that. I think of course it's at home, and so you should get the kick.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about desperation factor, Georgia could have lost that and still had all its goals in front of them. For Notre Dame, it's do or die.
Yeah. Oh, and Jeremy Pruitt got destroyed by the backup.
Well, the moment that the quarterback hits a receiver right in the hands in the end zone, it bounces off his hands into a Florida defender. I believe that's it.
Here we go. Thanks for playing.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Get paid unless we win. We want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
Hardee's new Monster Roast Beef Sandwich is stacked with slow-cooked roast beef, slices of crispy applewood smoked bacon, all covered in layers of melted cheese. This tasty triple threat is kind of like an epic no-hands backflip on a wild Mustang while spearing a great white shark. How you got a wild horse out in the middle of the ocean isn't important. What's important is that the new Monster Roast Beef Combo with fries and a Dr. Pepper is only available at Hardee's.
Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now is your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles host Family Weekend inside Doak Campbell Stadium, with NC State coming to Tallahassee Saturday, September 28th. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports. Purchase your tickets today to see Florida State football live in person. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. An MRI has confirmed Giants star running back Saquon Barkley has a high ankle sprain, is expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton ruled out of their Week 4 matchup against the Texans because of a foot injury. He'll once again be replaced in the lineup by quarterback Kyle Allen. Also from Schefter, Colts safety Malik Hooker expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a torn meniscus. ESPN's Vaughn McClure reporting Falcons strong safety Keanu Neal will miss the rest of the season with a torn Achilles tendon. He faces at least 8 months of recovery. Jags cornerback Jalen Ramsey called the team to inform them he was sick and not able to practice today. Sources told Schefter that Ramsey still wants to be traded and may not practice this week. Week 3 of the NFL season caps off tonight when the Bears visit the Redskins on Monday Night Football, and a matchup against Washington may be just what Chicago QB Mitchell Trubisky and the rest of the Bears' struggling offense needs, says Monday Night Football's Joe Tessitore.
I would think that Chicago uses this as a remedy game for Mitchell Trubisky. I would expect them to lean on David Montgomery enough to open things up in the passing game and play action for Trubisky. And they need that. They desperately need that.
Joe Tessitore on Golic and Wingo. The Bears offense has managed 1 touchdown this season, while the Redskins defense has allowed at least 30 points in each of their first 2 games. Monday Night Football coverage, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Free agent receiver Antonio Brown posted on Instagram he's going to take classes at Central Michigan. Brown attended Central Michigan and played football there for 3 seasons. Baseball, Royals manager Ned Yost announcing he'll retire at the end of this season.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Good Monday, everybody. Hope you're well. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. Sometimes you do. Hang in there. We'll post all 3 hours to iTunes. Rate, review, share with your friends, subscribe. All the goodness there at iTunes to catch up on the show. We also put it in our archived audio. You can email us if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. WTSM app goes for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. Hope this finds you doing well. I was happy for Cyrus Fagan. You'll hear from Willie this hour if you missed it in the first hour. I talked to Coach Taggart this morning. He was in a delightful mood, as one might expect after a win, and after a win where his team finally showed a little bit of what for in the fourth quarter, and after having given it away. Again, it was a different kind of giveaway because of all the missed field goals, but still, I mean, really kind of fairly inept there for long stretches. And so, you know, to see them go on a 14-0 run, I understand Louisville had to make mistakes, but at the end of the day, Florida State made them pay dearly for those mistakes, and that's important. I also think, you know, you'll hear it in the interview, but I think that having really now enforced some rules here and sat people down, and, you know, whether not traveling, DJ Matthews to Virginia, Levante Taylor not available for a game, sat him out for a game, you know, Dontavius Jackson benched to start a game, I would have held him out longer, but nonetheless, you know, recognizing that you're going to have to be much more penal if you're trying to enforce a message to your players and for those that transgress, and then having it work out in your favor where those guys come back and play well. All 3 I just mentioned have come back and played well, at times better than they have at any point. It's sending the right message to your team, and it's also positive reinforcement for your coaching staff to continue to ratchet that up because they need that. They have to have it.
Yeah, and I think obviously he mentioned it today that the message was received by Tamorrion Terry. He would be at the top of the list heading into NC State preparations. I don't know that he takes on field discipline, but you've got to talk to him, gassers or something, because that's 1st and 10 from whatever, the 20-yard line for the taunt that was not called. You can't have that kind of stuff. And I'm sure that they'll run some gassers too for the pre-snap penalties because there were a lot of those when times were a little bit tough. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves, I think. I think our brains were moving a little bit too fast. But overall, this was a game where the perfect scenario happened for the team to trust Alex Hornibrook if they have to trust him as the guy, which it looks like this week it's trending that way.
You know, it's interesting, too, because I thought both quarterbacks did something to be, praised. I thought both quarterbacks had their moments. It wasn't just that Alex Hornibrook came in and passed the test and, it's going to be his for this point forward. No. I mean, he can't do certain things that James can do. And, one thing that Alex does seem to do better than James, at least for now, we've seen in one game, pre-snap read. I think that really showed his decisiveness. That all starts with his ability to pre-snap read and be more decisive with where he's going with the football because he has an understanding before the ball is snapped. I think that's an area of weakness for James, and I think you see that play out. That's with all those pump fakes you see from James and uncertainty. But again, the situation at quarterback is such that maybe you're going to need both of them. Maybe you're going to have to just ride hot hands the rest of the year, and it looks like that experiment paid off. And I also paid very close attention to see James Blackman's body language, facial expression. What was it like when he had to take a seat and let Alex go out there, and then Alex throws the touchdown pass immediately? Of course, it's wide open. It's a good play call, horribly covered by Louisville, and it works out well. But, James was there hugging Alex Hornibrook and really excited for him. And Alex seemed really, really appreciative of that. And then later in the game, I saw the interaction as well. So they seem to have a good dynamic between them. And that's important if you're going to do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to have to play this game where you ride the hot hand and one guy sits and another guy comes in and then he's pulled, you better hope those two get along. And it looks like they do.
Considering that James Blackman is one of the leaders of the team, yes. But once again, if you're in a situation this weekend here at home, night kick, James is not good to go just yet. This couldn't have worked out any better for people to believe in Alex Hornibrook when we don't huddle, but when he calls the plays, he makes the checks, and he has to talk to the team between series.
Yeah.
You could see it. They responded to him. And because I think it's only fortified by the fact that one was okay with him. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That matters.
You don't want to blow a 21-point lead, but Of course
that's
not.
Not ideal, Tom.
No.
Not ideal.
Especially on the heels of blowing an 18-point lead in week 1 and a 14-point lead on the road to Virginia. It's not good.
Oh, we'll blow some leads now.
Yes, we will. In fact, that's kind of consistent. About as consistent as anything else
we do
that we do.
We do that.
But
with the best of them.
If he has to be your starting quarterback, this is about the best way to draw it up because he comes up with big plays in the big moments to get the crowd going and get the team feeling good about itself.
Held Louisville to 5.47 yards per play. That's not bang-up defense, but it's not horrific defense. If you're looking at the run statistics, yards per rush, just over 3. That is much better. That's back-to-back weeks, Tom. I think they figured some things out there. I'd also note those big guys up front, those 3, Marvin in particular, and Coops played great too. Those 3 guys are formidable, and they are going to be a tough matchup for anybody. They seem to have confidence now. They know what their job is. They're not 2-gap, they're 1-gap. They got that part of it down. They seem to have an understanding there. Fills are better. But I think, again, one-on-one matchups with those guys, that's tough for any offensive lineman. You've got real size there, real strength there, and some quickness to boot.
Yeah, that's, the big share of the pie in terms of being good against the run. I don't think it's that the linebackers have magically gotten better. Of course, it's horrific what happened to Jaden Lars-Woodby.
Sucks.
That injury is grotesque. I'm surprised they showed it after waiting that long. They could have just moved along with the game and said, guys, you don't want to see this. I hope he's okay and he returns to full strength. Also, simultaneously, it was a huge relief to get him out of there in the position he was playing in weeks prior. I'm not talking about edge. I'm talking about in the middle.
Oh, man, the uptick there.
Yes,
oh,
huge.
Huge. First quarter, you're going, what is this?
Leonard Warner made a couple of plays. They got McCray in there. He'll make mistakes at 100 miles an hour, which he did in this game, but he'll also make some plays and thump you.
I like him.
Amari Gaynor came in, saw some big time.
He's up and down, too.
He's up and down, but he's, yes, in terms of where he needs to be or making mistakes. But at least they're not tentative. You know, I think at this point, you're seeing guys catch blocks consistently week in, week out. There was still some of that this week. And Jaden Lars-Woodby did play in the interior a couple of plays. It's the same thing. He's dancing around. He doesn't know where to go. At least if you're decisive, you can affect what a running back has to do or take away one of the two lanes. Instead of giving him a choice, carte blanche, I could choose A, choose B. Which one's more correct? Because both are correct.
Janarius Robinson showed a little something.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that's a reason to be excited. He's more suited in that situation. But look, we're not going to be great at linebacker this year. They're just not.
Correct.
They're going to be okay at times. It's going to be a weakness on this team. There are some weaknesses that I don't know that you're going to overcome week to week. Just can't be abysmal. And I feel that way every week about the offensive line. We're going to run that tempo, and we have to run that tempo. I say it time and again every Monday on this show. We got to run that tempo and not slow things down, because I think if you give defenses a chance to set up, you lose that matchup. You're not going to block it up. When they're on the heels, you can mitigate the weakness, and they do a good job of that. And so between that and the fact that Cam Akers runs like a grown-ass man, and I tell you what, I already like the kid, but this version of him is going to get him paid a lot of money, because he breaks tackles time and again. He's got a nastiness to the finish of runs that I think it's chuckle-worthy. I always crack up when a guy has to come up and try to make a play on him, especially anything towards the sideline. I'm going, you better bring it. You better bring it. He's going to hurt you.
Well, and I think he had
pass blocking, too.
Well, the pass blocking, there's one pass block with Hornibrook where he's rolling to his right and he's flushed, and he hits, I forget who it is, but it's in the middle of the field. It looks like a dangerous throw, but the guy's open for about 5 seconds, and the problem is there's a defender right in Hornibrook's face, so he can't get the trajectory unless he has more time, and Cam affords him the time. That speaks to exactly what you're talking about. That's what he's been all season long.
He's nasty.
Is a fantastic pass protector. I think there was another 40 or 50 yards minimum out there for Cam if he was given the ball on some read option plays.
Yeah.
James pulled the ball away quite a few times when he didn't need to. Actually, in truth, too, when they take a 24-21 lead, the first play, Hornibrook, if he gives the ball as he should to Cam Akers, it's blocked up off the left side for, I don't know, a lot, maybe 30, 40 yards by itself.
Yeah.
So Cam had a lot more that he was not allowed to get. He only made one mistake, I thought, which was on the first drive of second down where he bounced outside. He shouldn't have. But he's making fewer of those mistakes, which is the important thing.
Yeah, and he's finishing runs, and he wears an opposing defense out, and he is a nasty pass blocker. He is a nasty finisher of runs, as I say, and he's a guy that if you play with a guy like that, now listen, I know, roll your eyes. I name drop this guy all the time because I'm proud of him. But I played with a guy like that in William Floyd, who was even bigger. And he would inspire us. I mean, I'm telling you, when you see, if you're another player on the field and you watch those runs and you see a guy run over people and take people out, you can't help but lay it on the line. I remember numerous times, that guy was a force of nature. I'd watch him run over somebody and then talk smack, and we would get in the huddle and we'd be, jacked. You couldn't wait to go out there and hit somebody on the next play, because that example is something everybody wants to follow.
Yeah, there's one thing that Willie talked about today that I do agree with, and that's, when you win and you see things can happen even when you're not the focal point of a play, it becomes contagious and you want to do it more.
Yeah.
And two players, I think, that are night and day different than they were in the beginning of the season. Trey McKitty is the first thing I saw when I watched the game again. Physicality and lead blocking.
Mm-hmm.
He came to play.
Yeah.
He came to play.
They have talked to him, man. I think something's clicking with that guy, and it's good because he, too, is going to get paid.
And then Tamorian on the perimeter, I thought, had a really good day blocking. Of course, Keith Gavin has the highlights.
Yeah.
But Tamorian was furiously blocking throughout the game.
Especially early. There were 2 blocks where you went, what is this? What version of Tamorian Terry did we get here? There's a nasty block at the beginning of the game. I thought he was going to get called.
Yeah, here's hoping that nastiness is contagious throughout. It looks like it, though. And one footnote, I told you this yesterday. I thought maybe the Hornibrook throw on 2nd and 20 was more of an educated prayer. I was wrong. Go back and look at it. He intends to do it. That's a really good throw. That's a really good throw.
Yeah, no, listen, he's going to have weaknesses with that arm being average as it is. And I don't think, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's a great player, but he does bring, let's just say this. This is exactly why you brought him in. You know, we said about Alex Hornibrook, hey, look, guys, we watched him at Wisconsin. He's limited, okay? But he won a ton of games there. More importantly, he played in a ton of games, big ones at that. Come back when, the win against Miami. All these moments where you go back and you look at him and you go, okay, he had significant contributions in big games against the likes of Michigan, Ohio State, University of Miami. We went on through the list. No, you can't rely on him to win you a game. He's not going to be the reason, per se, that you go out and win a game. But he won't be nervous. He's been on the stage. So when he had to go in there, now, granted, it was smart. They had gotten him in earlier, so it certainly helped. But I don't think he would have been nervous either way. He strikes me as a very, very composed young man who's been in big situations.
Yeah, and he seems prepared because you listen to any tale from the beat throughout camp, or even Ira, I think, said it in his interview last week.
Yeah.
That Hornibrook is always there after practice working with receivers, and not like third and fourth stringers, like the good ones.
Tamorian Terry told me when I asked him at ACC kickoff Florida State Media Day, how he hurt himself. And he was talking about, I was after practice, I was running routes with Alex Hornibrook. And I was throwing with him, and I felt something in my leg and my knee, and I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad, so I ran another couple before I realized, I better stop. Well, there's an example. He was after practice throwing with Alex Hornibrook, and there you go.
Yeah, and he seems to the one thing I'll say about him, too, this is the concern with James Blackman, one of the, I don't want to say many, but one of the big ones, is that maybe James gets concerned with ratio and making sure the ball goes to certain people, whereas it looks like Alex is more comfortable with the offense and what the defense is giving you.
Well, this is why it was a competition.
I don't know that it's an open and shut case. I think this is ever evolving. James didn't play poorly on Saturday.
Well, yeah.
He played pretty well. He did a good job. I think that was a very spirited second touchdown drive for James.
Mm-hmm.
After Alex goes down the field and scores, I think he had a little extra something out there.
Well, maybe this serves to fuel the fire for the both of them. Great. Good.
Well, and if you think about it as James Blackman, the long-term quarterback solution here at Florida State, whereas Sims, it's a true freshman, you don't know how he's going to handle it right away. This could aid his development significantly because he's being pushed, and that's what we've always wanted here.
Competition, man.
Competition at all positions, and it looks like they're bringing the competition on Saturdays, not just Monday through Thursday.
Willie Taggart joined me this morning, and I interviewed him as I'm wont to do bi-weekly, and today was no different. You'll hear that next on the Jeff Cameron Show.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Plus finance with GM Financial plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Wich Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature wich, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Wich Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Scherer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Hey, this is Jeff Doxey, representing Premier Fine Homes. I'm proud to announce Premier's newest community, Brookside Village. Brookside has the great schools you want, some larger home sites, and is conveniently located on Ox Bottom Road between Ox Bottom Manor and Moore Pond. Call or text me today at 545-4747 or email me at jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. Remember, before you buy, try me at Brookside.
Win an ultimate fan cave experience. Text Fan Cave to 66555 and enter to win a $1,500 prize giveaway from Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales. Win a 50-inch flat screen TV, refrigerator for your ice-cold Bud Light, and more. Text Fan Cave to 66555 or visit trieaglesales.com. Bud Light, famous among friends. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Are you starting a new business or expanding your business? Looking for the right general contractor to assist you with the tenant space build-out? Look no further. From restaurant to retail, we have the experience to work with you. At T-Spark Enterprises, we are ready to be a part of your vision and build a space that exceeds your expectations. Whether you're looking for design build or build from your own design, give us a call today for a free consultation. As the owner of T-Spark Enterprises, I guarantee when it comes to your business space, we only provide picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back in. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Always our pleasure to welcome on the head football coach at Florida State University. He's Willie Taggart, and he joins me now after a win, 35-24. This time it would be different. The fourth quarter owned by Florida State. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win. Secondly, what did the film tell you about how your team grew up?
Well, thank you very much for that. But just watching the film, our guys played for 4 quarters and found a way to win the ball game. They played winning football. You look at it from a discipline standpoint, didn't have many penalties. We didn't turn the ball over. That's 2 weeks in a row where we didn't turn the ball over, and then defensively stopping the run 2 weeks in a row where we held our opponents below their average rushing the football, and that's always important, you know. So, but to see our guys play for each other and find a way to win and make winning plays for their teammates when we needed it was really good to see.
Yeah, you mentioned the rush defense. That is 2 weeks in a row. Held Louisville to 3.4 yards per play on the ground. And obviously that was a point that coming into the game I think a lot of people would be focusing on given how well Louisville had been running the ball and the required discipline on all that outside zone stuff that they like to run for your defense. And what are you seeing from that unit now that has shifted where the ability to stop the run continues to seemingly improve? I know up front the big three are really starting to feel, I think, confident and strong and playing with great confidence, but you're seeing better play from others as well.
Yeah, we have, and I think what we're seeing is our guys getting comfortable with our defense and the things that we're doing defensively. And like you mentioned a minute ago, our D-line is playing at a high level, and then you're starting to see again our linebackers and safeties becoming more involved in the run game and helping us. You know, so I think having a better understanding and of the defense is really helping our guys make some progress.
Don't want to harp on injuries. Information can change as the day goes along. At the time that we're recording in the morning, I know sometimes that does happen, but it was a devastating thing to see. Really, you never want to see any injuries, but a kid that's been selfless and done everything you've asked of him and moved around positions, and Jaden Lars Woodby going down like that. I know I saw him after the game in the wheelchair, and obviously that shows his dedication to his teammates to be out there celebrating the win afterwards despite the injury. But any updates on Jaden? Is he going to be lost for the season?
Yeah, Jaden will be out for the season. He's done, unfortunately. great young man and was having a good game, and unfortunately he had that injury. But the one thing about him, he's going to work hard and get back and be stronger and better than ever.
We know there was another injury in the game, obviously, to James Blackman. We'll continue to monitor that. One thing I want to say, Coach, I was watching through the binoculars there early in the game, and we know this about James. He's an amazing teammate. He's a leader. Everybody likes James, and that's a good thing. But he showed it here in a different way, because I don't know of any quarterback, and you were a quarterback, that wants to be pulled. You brought this up post-game. You're in the middle of starting a game. You come out. You guys wanted to get Alex Hornibrook a look and get him in the game, and obviously it's a good thing he did. But I saw him celebrating the touchdown from Hornibrook, and those two embraced. They seem to have a very close relationship in a short period of time.
Well, I think what you're seeing is our football team starting to play for one another and enjoy their teammates and enjoy the teammates' success on the football field. And I think you're seeing that at a lot of positions. I know I saw it a lot on Saturday, which was really exciting for me personally, just to see these guys starting to play for one another and not worry about who's making the play or not, but just guys going out and competing and doing whatever they can to help the football team. And it's great to see our guys doing that, even our better players and our leaders doing it, and it making an example, showing an example to all the younger guys on how they're supposed to be.
Coach, something else to point out, you've had a couple of times where you've had to discipline guys, and that's part of it, and guys have to learn from that. That can go one of two ways, but I would say you see DJ Matthews make that big catch, come back, play hard. We saw it from Levanta Taylor, handle that discipline, come back and play hard. Talk about a little bit, maybe a team maturing a little bit.
Well, absolutely, and they growing up. We have a young football team, and the thing about our team, everybody wants to make plays. Everybody wants to help, but we got to make sure that we're helping and doing things the right way. That's the only way to help and help the way that we want to. And our guys understand that there's a standard that we're all going to live by and hold each other accountable to, and nobody's exempt from that standard. So our guys are growing up and understanding it, and it's great to see our guys bounce back from things that don't go their way. And find a way to help their teammates.
He closed out the game 14-0 after giving up 24 straight. There's certainly a lot of people in that moment watching this game go the way the others have, thinking, well, here we go again. So obviously this has a much better ending, and you hope something that continues to carry over moving forward. Have you been able to put a finger on why that's happening, though, why it is that Florida State's able to get out to big leads, really light up the scoreboard early, and then kind of hold on for dear life, only this time around you flip the script a little bit. But why is that happening to this team?
I think it's what you call the game of football. These things happen in the game of football. I mean, you see it with our team, and rather than looking at all the negative, I kind of look at the positive of how our guys are learning. I said it before, how our football team needs to learn how to win, and our guys are learning each week. They're getting better, and they're correcting mistakes from the week before. And this past week, we finally put it together. The good thing about it is when we got in that situation, our guys didn't quit. They found a way to win the ball game, and I think that's more important than anything is finding a way to win.
Coach, obviously we hope James is okay. I thought both quarterbacks played well, and hopefully we get James back quickly. But what did you see from Alex Hornibrook that led you to the decision that you wanted to get him in this game no matter what? Obviously, he had to play a little bit bigger role after the injury, but what was it that you saw that led to that decision this past week?
Well, we had been saying it all year long that we wanted to get him in the game and give him some reps. It's just the way some of these games was going, we didn't have a chance to get him in there. And this game, we said we're going to put him in there in the third series and let him go. And again, Alex came in, he competed, he know the offense. He's a winner. He's got experience. He's played in big games, and we knew the moment wouldn't be too big for him. So, and he proved that for us. It was good. Again, another example of some of our guys, not some of them, but most of our guys now are taking advantage of opportunities when they come, and more importantly, they're prepared for those opportunities.
Cyrus Fagan with a huge interception. You said in the post game that you really saw that kind of coming from him, and that he's had good practices, that he's been active, and you've kept thinking that, something good was going to happen for him. Talk about him. And then also, I mean, you look at that field and you see a lot of guys playing so hard and a lot of guys showing leadership. But every week it's kind of a broken record. Cam Akers runs with a tenacity and a ferocity and a toughness that other people have to feed off of.
Oh, absolutely. And going back to Cyrus, Cyrus he's been having this winning mentality ever since training camp, even at the beginning of the season when things weren't going well defensively, every practice he came with a great attitude, with great energy, and I think other guys were starting to feed off of him, and it's been great to see out of him. Just changing the way that he go about thinking and the way he do things, and it's paying off for him on the football field. And we can't say enough about Cam. Cam just, like I said, he's had a different mentality, and it's been important to him that he help do whatever he can to help this football team get back to our winning ways. And again, we kind of he put us on the shoulder once again, and got in the end zone 3 times, ran the ball really hard like we know he's capable of. And Cam is our bell cow. we got to lean on him, and I think that's what he would want.
Coach, have a great week of practice. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate you joining us on the program. Good luck against NC State. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, thank you very much, Jeff, and have a great day if you want to, and go Noles.
All right, Coach. Take care.
All right, buddy.
That's head coach Willie Taggart. Obviously in a better mood, in a good mood, and should be. As I talk about this team, they've got a long way to go. We know that. It's frustrating, and if you look big picture, it's kind of hard sometimes to even watch a game play out the way that this did and celebrate a win. Because you're thinking about where we need to be and how far away we are from the likes of a Clemson. But I also think that it's important to take a step back in those moments and kind of appreciate a step forward. He mentioned the run defense. That is 2 weeks in a row now, and they can build off that. They got some hosses up front. Those big three can hold their own against most teams. And in the case of Marvin, well, he's just an all-world player. And if you're able to start shutting down this run with regularity, the opportunity to improve in the secondary, the opportunity to continue to pressure the quarterback improves greatly. And suddenly you start looking like a fairly competent defense, which is not something we've seen in some time. And if you do that, you can win the football games you're supposed to win. You give yourself a fighting chance. And at this point, in Florida State's football kind of evolution, where we're at, with Coach Taggart, his staff, this team, quote unquote, learning how to win, maturing, figuring some things out. You got to celebrate those little steps. Some of the bigger steps than others, obviously, stopping the run is a big one. But if you get that in the midst of or in the wake of some discipline issues in which guys were sat, guys didn't play as much. In the case of DJ Matthews, didn't even travel to Virginia. Then maybe, just maybe, you're seeing a team turn the corner. Again, are they elite? Nope, not going to be this year. Are they even good right now? Nope. But we're aspiring to average, and we're also aspiring to see more consistency. And if you get that, and you see the confidence grow with wins, look, I don't think it's an overstatement here. It's a huge game again this weekend to beat NC State. If you get to 3-2, 2-1 in conference. You can tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself. The truth of the matter is, for Florida State's players, they could look back and say, well, we've lost to 2 undefeated teams, both ranked in the top 20. So, okay, and those were narrow defeats. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to begin to believe and play better. And I think 14-0 to close things out is much, much better. Now, Louisville did what a lot of teams going through transition do, and a lot of young teams do, and that's make mistakes and give opportunities. But Florida State hasn't always cashed in on those opportunities, and this time around they did. It was an important win, and it would have been a devastating setback to lose that game to a team that is rebuilding the way Louisville is. Our thanks to Coach Taggart. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Where every name and every face seems so familiar. Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
The
Deciding whether or not to fix something that has worked well for a long time can be a tough choice. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, we'll help you decide on whether to repair your existing system or consider new energy-efficient options. Book your repair or service appointment online in under a minute at baranoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hello, Eddie. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I guess we got to do this commercial.
Time for the bantering to begin.
Yeah, but you know what, Jeff? I want something different now.
You don't want to banter anymore.
I enjoy the banter. I do. But I want theme music, Jeff. Gordo's needs theme music.
Gordo's, the restaurant, the delicious food and the people and the atmosphere. Gordo's, not you personally, but Gordo's.
Yes,
I like
Gordo's, not me. I mean, of course, I would love to have people following me around playing music all the time.
Especially at Gordo's.
It's always in my head. But I need something for Gordo's. I need to have something special, something that, heck, the King of the Hill has his own theme music. The Kids in the Hall. Why not me? Why not Gordo's?
Why not Gordo's? All right, I guess I'm going to be looking for some theme music.
You mean you're going to have Tom looking for some theme music?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep, get on it, Tommy. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
Hendrick.
Kickoff for savings at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet. 2019 Chevy Silverado 1500s up to $15,000 off MSRP. Find new roads at DaleJuniorChevy.com. Plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now is your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles host Family Weekend inside Doak Campbell Stadium, with NC State coming to Tallahassee Saturday, September 28th. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports. Purchase your tickets today to see Florida State football live in person. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
talking and didn't hear it in my headset, and now all of a sudden I do. That's why you hear me beating the hell out of the mic.
First thing I looked at, I was like, did you grab guest mic or your mic?
No, I didn't know what I was doing there. I was lost in thought about what I was doing afterwards, which we'll be listening to as soon as we sign off. First look from the boys of the Front Row Noles. And I imagine that Keith Jones will be in better spirits this time around. Well, I mean, you know, it's nice to do that show, this show, any show that covers that team after a win. And
I don't know that he was after 24 straight. You know, just
who was?
Just saying.
Yeah, who was? And it certainly, this was a little bit different, this particular, as we talked about earlier. This particular 24 straight or second half collapse or however you want to describe it, was a little bit different. If Slappy bothers to make a few field goals, I mean, literally, he had 3 chances and none of them are close. You know, it's a very different looking game, but he didn't because kickers all suck, all of them. They could all go to hell. So that's kind of where we're at, and that's unfortunate. The real Ricky Aguayo showed up there, and then it got interesting. But we punched back, so that show should be fun. And then we followed up with Monday Night Football, which at the very least will be an entertaining game because neither team's any good. You know what I was looking at? Trubisky is like last in every meaningful category that you would assess a passer.
I'll probably regret this tomorrow because there's no football tomorrow. I don't think Maction has started just yet.
Oh, I can't wait, though.
I don't think I could stomach football tonight. I think I got to take a night off. I am that dispirited from yesterday.
So I'm going to tell you, for those that are just tuning in at the very end of the show and missed in the first hour when Tom and I talked about this, I'm very, 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 very proud of myself. My boys had one of their friends over, and they were playing in the front room at the end of that game, the Bucs game, that is. And my heart obviously sunk as soon as it came off his foot, you knew it wasn't good. And no curses. No. Christy looked at me. She was waiting because I was standing in front of the TV with my hands on my knees.
Yeah.
Going, can we make a kick? Just make a kick. This is a chip shot. He missed it. And I just turned and looked. I went, he missed it. Let's go outside and throw the football, everybody. And we walked out, and I threw the football for the next hour and 20 minutes till it got real dark, and then called it a night.
Yeah, in a similar circumstance, typically 7 o'clock, and the Bucs, I mean, they're scheduled. They don't play like a routine game ever.
Yeah.
Usually at 7 o'clock, my nephew and I hop on the video game thing because he's 4 hours away, and that's our
your
time together.
It's your time, yeah.
And we moved it to 7:30, and I needed almost every single minute of it because the game did take forever to complete. And I stood up from the couch before the kick. I said, I don't think I can watch this because it's just taking too long. Everything's taking too long.
Well, he iced his own kicker, so
yes,
of course.
And then, what happens, and it's 7:27, so I need to hop on and play.
3 minutes later, you got to hop on.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like sometimes my nephew doesn't watch the big game of the day. He's not locked in
right,
yet.
Yeah. But he watched that one.
Of course he did.
Oh,
First question, he's like, so what happened to the Bucs?
We're not doing this.
Well, buddy, you got to make a kick, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know.
Got to do that.
You're going to be Darth Vader tonight? Yeah, all right. That's I'll be Obi-Wan.
Right,
sounds good. Let's do this damn thing.
Yeah, let's do that. I did. And then you know what I did? I went shopping at Publix. Calms me down. I like to just wander the aisles, staring off into the distance, occasionally thinking, oh, we need that. That's what I did. I just wandered the aisles.
You know, that is so spooky. And this place does not advertise with us.
Right.
But whatever. So for some reason, I thought to myself, where would I go right now? I just want to get the farthest away I could.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else there.
No. Oh, God, no. New Leaf Market Co-op. I was like, you know what? That would be the farthest place away.
Did you go?
No, because I was playing video
that's
games.
right. Yeah.
But I was like, maybe I should go get a juice.
Yeah.
I'd just go there.
Yeah.
People don't care about sports there.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Oh, I wandered the aisles there at Publix. I had a good long stare at some food items that I've thought about purchasing.
I could talk
before.
to the dude about holistic medicine or something.
You could. Yeah. And the smells are nice, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
I did. I wandered, spent a little time looking at the seafood. Ran into somebody that I know that likes the show. We talked a little bit. Not about the game.
Oh.
Not about the game.
Thank you, person.
Yeah,
you
that
got to
person
be
did the-
okay to us in those moments.
Yeah, that person did the right thing. They were aware of what happened. They're like, oh, yeah, probably a good time to go shopping, huh? And I'm like, yep. And I thought, here we go. And then no questions about it. Nothing. Just straight up. I'm like, all right. I think I'm going to get some Captain Crunch. I did. I haven't bought that in a long time, but I did.
Did you hunt for some free samples while you were there? He's like, man, usually usually I'm in a rush when I'm here, but I'm going to take my time, see if there's maybe some samples.
People, regular listeners to the show know I am the shopper for the Cameron household. It's not my wife, it's me.
Do they have like a Sunday cooking demonstration I can just
They
watch?
did, but I didn't go to watch that. I just, but I like grocery shopping. I just do. I always have. Even since I was a little kid, I used to go with my mom, and I loved it, and I still love it. It's peaceful to me. It's just you can contemplate things. Your life.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. And so you just it's great.
Man, so one of the games, there's like this game mode. It's like a tug of war, and you have to win it. There's no time limit.
Mm-hmm.
It could take forever. And so it took an hour and 15 minutes, this one game. I know.
That's
It's called Capital Supremacy. It took forever. It was okay, though. I needed the break.
Mm-hmm.
So it's finally over. It's 9:30. This one game took an hour and 15 minutes. So it's over. I log off, switch the inputs to HDMI 1. And I hear Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. And Chris Collinsworth said pass rush, which he never says pass rush. It's always pass rush. And I just said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Done.
Flipped it off. And I maybe flipped it off, then flipped off the television. And I just sat there. I didn't want to go to bed yet. I just wanted to sit because I hadn't had a chance to process it. Long story short, I'm not listening or watching Monday Night Football tonight, even though we'll have it for you right here.
I'll watch it. I'll watch other people's misery. It's okay. I'll watch these two terrible teams. Bears at least are really good on defense, and I do like to watch them play defense. But, yeah, I mean, I watched Baker Mayfield look terrible last night. I watched that Browns team. They can't block. Rams don't look good either. No,
It's a winnable game on the road.
No, we won't win the game because we can't block them. But that said, and they're also really different at home than they are on the road. That's the weirdest thing. Like Goff, for real, just in looking at his splits, he's not very good on the road for whatever reason. I don't know if that's because of the system they run where they get the play into him really, really late because he can't read a defense, and so they have to tell him at the last second.
So it's quieter.
Yeah. But I don't know what goes on with that, but he's so much better at home than he is on the road, and he'll be at home when we play him. So, yeah, we'll see. But I watched that game last night. I thought, golly, Cleveland still can't block. Now, that is a very good Rams defense, especially up front. So, that's not necessarily fair to Cleveland. But I feel like that thing's going to be, and you called it in the preseason, and I yelled from the top of the mountain, hey, can we let this team, make the playoffs first before we christen them as some sort of champion? But everybody bet the over on the win total. Everybody was sure Baker Mayfield was going to a Pro Bowl. They can't block. They've beaten one team. It's a terrible Jets team. They didn't look good doing it. And they're not going to the playoffs. They're not going to win 9 games.
Combustible. That's the word. And Njoku being out is really big for them.
Yeah.
Because that's a reliable person who would be drawing singles and could do something about it. But they can't play the Bucs every weekend if they had him healthy anyway, because we'll give up 150 yards to anybody's tight end.
Jesus. By the way, Justin Verlander won his 20th game on Sunday afternoon as we're about to do probables. He has done that just one other time in 2011. And there's some other stuff going on this week, the final week for baseball. The final week begins with 9 players in the 40 home run club. Pete Alonso, of course, has 50. Mm-hmm. The number may grow because Alex Bregman begins the final week here now with 39. Freddie Freeman, George Springer, and Torres are all right behind him. They have 38. And so you got some things happening this weekend where you might end up having 12, 13 people in the 40 home run club this year. That's pretty nuts. It has been the year of the home run. And then also, if you're a Braves fan, and, I think this is something worth noting. The Braves, A's, Twins could all win 100 games. That's on the table right now. Would also note that we start today with Cleveland and Tampa Bay notched in a tie for the final wild card spot there. It would really be a shame if the Rays did not get in. They play in a unbelievably difficult division, and they're going to win 90-something. Well, they already did win.
Well, yeah, it's an unbelievably difficult league at this point because the Red Sox are out of it.
I know.
And Tampa has a couple of dates with the Yankees after playing Boston tonight. Then they do get Toronto to finish the season.
That helps a lot.
I forget who Cleveland's midweek opponent is. I believe it's the White Sox.
It is.
But then it's Washington, who could be battling for home field at the very least.
You need them to be playing for something important. You really do.
Well, they're tied with the Brewers entering tonight.
They are. And the Brewers' story is insane. Listen to this. Since Christian Yelich broke the kneecap, and we figured, well, that's it for the Brewers, they're 11-2. Now, here's the other thing about them being 11-2.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Here's the other thing about them being 11-2. It's not like they've gone out and gone crazy hitting. They have hit well, but they have a 2.56 ERA as a team in their last 13 games.
Yeah, of course they do.
They're just dealing.
That's how it happens. Turns out you needed 90 wins all along to become a wild card team in the National League.
I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, baseball is cruel.
Yep.
Not as cruel as the Bucks having to make a kick of any significance ever, but just
I can't watch.
Damn cruel.
I said it, but for those that are just tuning in now because you're like, hey, shut up, guys. I want to hear Tom and Keith.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch kicks the rest of the year, Saturdays and Sundays. Not for our teams. Can't do it. Can't do it. Extra points in college football will be the only exception. Other than that, I won't do it.
Well, after Ricky missed the first one, it was easy to guess he was going to miss every subsequent one because I don't know why with him, but when he makes them, and you're like, okay, he's going to make these the rest of the night. If he misses them, you're going, here we go. It's one of those days, huh? I mean, you just throw that anywhere you want in the parking lot.
I think it'd be more fun if you could put up like a big curtain right behind the end zone, the back line of the end zone, and then you as a team, as a coach, based upon the player's performance, can select where the goalposts are going to go, but the kicker doesn't know. And then after he kicks the ball, the curtain drops, and you see where the goalposts are.
It's good.
And if you put it in that left-hand quadrant, you got a real good chance of getting 3 points.
I'm going to put this one in the corner of the end zone. There's a chance that he'll hit this dead center.
It's just like calling a pitch.
Corner of the end
right,
zone
and it's
here.
just behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Nobody can know until the ball leaves the foot, and then you drop the curtains.
Here we go. Probables. Let's get out of the way here.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Phil's Nationals, Zach Eflin and Patrick Corbin. We got Orioles and Blue Jays, Chandler Shepard. He's another one of those golfing buddies. Clay Buchholz goes for the Blue Jays. We've got the Red Sox and the Rays. What a crazy weekend series that was. A couple extra inning wins for the Rays. Loss yesterday. Jules Chassin going for the Red Sox, and Blake Snell will pitch for the Rays. This ought to be advantage Rays. We'll see. Marlins, Mets, Caleb Smith, Steven Matz, Cards, D-backs, Adam Wainwright, Alex Young, and that's it. That's all. That's a look at those. That shower is out of the bump.
Jasmine in my mind.
You know, I think the one thing I do take solace in is watching the Cubs' epic collapse.
Oh, my God.
Every day.
It's nice to have somebody steal your headline.
I mean, every day I look up, I'm like, oh, that's a lead for the Cubs. Oh, they blew it. And the distraught look is they're at home for every one of those games, and they just pan the camera around, and you just see that look of despair.
Yeah, that's worse despair than what we experienced because it's prolonged and it's different every day, yet it's still the same.
Well, and it's to your arch rival every day right
it's
now.
the first time that's happened. I forget how long. I saw the note today that you lose 4 games by 1 run.
Yeah, 6
4
straight total.
days.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... That's a toughie.
I laugh because I sit with you today in some variety.
Yeah, in some way. All right, again, first look from our friends at the Front Row Knowles there with the Front Row Knowles. That's next, followed by Monday Night Football. Good work out of you. Jerry Cigars, we always appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
We could use a loaded Jerry cigar today. We could use it. we need a special cigar from Jerry's today.
That's true. Just a Tampa Cuban will do in the honor of us winning the Super Bowl once upon a time, being the toast of football.
You know who didn't? The Falcons. They haven't.
No, that's correct. They haven't.
And Matt Ryan looks like ass, and they lost yesterday.
Yeah, he should really book it to 2810 Share Road or 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. At least he could find his way on jerrycigarshop.com.
Boom, well done. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Oh, we're going to get petty. It's going to get petty around here.
Damn it.
That's the way that works. We'll point some fingers. Enjoy your evening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.